Okay. 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 Think I sound all right. Mostly. I think I'm like 90 something percent. Back to normal, I think. I hope. Let's see if I can fool the public. What is up, everyone? This is. Ooh, I could do that. Coffee with Soul. I'm your host. We're going to chat. We're going to talk. We're going to chill and hang out. We're going to lament and um, think back to like the Legion remix. Like, how did that go now that the trial is about to wrap up? Like, what sorts of improvements still need to happen? You know, how's it looking, right? A lot of folks are talking smack, and appropriately so. I just think that there are things that are like just not done and missing and whatnot. But otherwise, it's on like a trajectory to be like pretty cool. Although some folks they want to, it's kind of funny. Like folks really want that whole gotta have that power fantasy, gotta have everything be one shot and blah 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 blah. But like um, before this, people were like, "Oh man, Legion, fuck yeah, I'm gonna play through this. I'm gonna relive. It was my favorite expansion and blah 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 blah." But then seeing like that sort of rhetoric followed by the reactions to the trial and people being like, well, I want to be able to like one shot everything, blah 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 blah. It just kind of makes me think, were they really, were those like what's the overlap? Were those people really fans of Legion, or do they just want stuff, right? Do they just want like the dopamine fix and all that? And it makes me think like, for everything that WoW tries to do, to be like, hey, let's make something fun, let's do some like weird stuff, let's do some experimentation. But what do players really want? What do they really, really want? They want the collector's bounty event to just come back again and again and again. And they want it to be permanent, and they want it to happen again anyway. So I don't know. Folks have takes. That's fine. I accept that. Let me say hi to people. Actually, let me give thanks to Pretty Lady, to Arcadius, to Darth, and to Lillian Storm. Thank you very much for subscribing. I really, really appreciate that. It has been a while since I've come to you guys like on a Tuesday. Well, no. I came to you guys Tuesday last week, and then Wednesday I was sick again because COVID just came back. Like I had a whole rebound and everything. I didn't sleep. It was just really bad. I was back Thursday for a bit, doing some remix stuff, and then the usual break. And now I'm back again, and I'm like just about there, just about. The only thing that I'm complaining about right now is the weather. It is like stuffy. It's like humid right now, and I'm feeling gross, and I hate it. Humidity, oh, that's the worst. I got COVID. Why did I go outside? Actually, well, I hate doing this, but it was my wife was at the office. She got sick. She got me sick. So that's how it happened. Otherwise, this here, this is a tomb. This is like airtight and sealed and all that stuff. But yeah, not it's not foolproof. But I am feeling better. Thank you for thanks to folks who were giving like well wishes and all that stuff, and thanks for folks for like coming back. It's like, oh yeah, he's alive. Yeah, he can do stuff again. um yeah, blame it on the spouse, exactly. Let me say hi to people though. Who am I saying hi to? I'm saying hi to Adversus. You're the first person to say hi. Hey, you get a point. What's up to Need, to Anubis, to Lillian, to Arcadius again. Thanks to, oh, I'm sorry, hello to Dragon, to Matthias. What's up to Necro and Mage Master and Chungus, to Sonata, and Mo and Seracer, and Bannock Burns, and I think Arumas again, but it's all good. Hey, and hello, of course, to the beautiful digital smiling faces who are going to join us throughout the day. Let's begin with what is in. I haven't checked my vault yet, so we're going to check that thing now. Oh, no one's here. Am I in a different phase or something like that? I'm gonna clear out or what? Yeah, I've never seen this Tuesday being so quiet, but I'm gonna guess like phasing or whatnot is just like doing some weird stuff. So we got this thing that I know a lot of people like. People are big fans of that particular trinkets. This is a feats that don't do anything. That is an axe that doesn't do anything. This is a delve trinket that doesn't do anything. A lot of things that don't do anything. I'll let that sit for a bit. Morning, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the remix. I'm still hoping for more communication from Blizzard and any feature changes they make before it goes live. So here gets, I put out a, shoot, I didn't even look. I'm gonna blame brain fog for like any weird decisions or weird shit that comes out of my mouth over the next couple of months. I'll just blame brain fog, COVID. Yeah. Did the video go out? Yes it did. Okay, so yeah, I put out a video just earlier that talked mostly about how strictly outdoor progression works in the remix, and mostly sing praises over how Blizzard's trying to do its best to not make it feel like, oh, you have to go into raids and dungeons and farm trash or like just basically do that and get into group stuff. You can do there's like a solo path to it as well, but then there's still like big things that need to be fixed about the remix. The biggest two things for me so far are the infinite trait. It sucks, doesn't really do anything. It should do more. The other is like just kind of a rebalancing of some of the artifact trees, notably the holy one, because that one was just bad. And then there are other things too. I'm not saying that there are no other problems, because people are like, oh, well, I want to have like, infinite secondary stats and blah, blah, blah. People want those sorts of things. And for the most part, people just want to, they want to see, I guess for the most part, people don't really mind seeing things like, oh, here's this heroic world tier. Here is this this time gated stuff. Well, those are things that people complain about, but I think people would forgive that as long as they saw a path to be like, okay, eventually I want to just kind of like light speed ahead of all this stuff and eventually just start like just destroying everything. But we're not quite seeing that yet. And that's what's given a lot of folks, that's what's making a lot of folks nervous. We have to wait for a friend to let me know that they can solo everything and then jump in. I wouldn't exactly advise that though. Because like I know I said I was just gonna do one more feedback video, but it's not really the last video. I still got one more in me. So I think while it's still up, and if I can, I want to get footage or whatnot, because there's one more thing that I want to do, and I want to talk about basically what do you do in the remix. And so what I did, I took all the things that are exclusive to the remix and just kind of laid it all out and be like, all right, guys, if you want to get all the rewards, like here's kind of the path to take. And so I looked at all the achievements and I looked at how to do all that stuff. But I also looked at the other achievements that let you get more of the infinite power, that lets you juice up that infinite trait, which again sucks. Path people through that and be like, all right, guys, here's what you do, right? Because that's what I did. And that's what I was pushing hard during the mob remix. I was like, hey, dudes, what y'all got to do is do these kinds of achievements. Do these achievements, and that's going to get you all the exclusive stuff. Do these first, and by the time you get out of it, by the time you get to the end of it, you're going to be in a really good spot. So that's the plan for today. So I at least want to get like footage of all this stuff, even if I don't like have a video ready, and maybe I'll put it out this week. Maybe I'll save it for when we get close to the launch of the remix, and then it'll be like a guide or whatnot. So yeah, Checked the thing yesterday. I noticed I'm 7-8 for balance of power with my paladin. Only a few quests for the final step to do. Thanks, pass to me. Haha. I'm sure we're understanding the amount of required, and I'm fairly sure we are understanding the amount of quote required and gated daily weekly power stuff because of the test environment. For the most part, yeah, I think some things are busted still. I think one of the first things that I did. Okay, let me choose something. I think I'm gonna end up choosing a hero chest because I think I have a champion thing. Okay, hero that. Okay, so I think I'm getting a chest. Yeah. Do I have both of those? I do. So I wonder if this is good for tanks. It's a lot of crit, but they don't really do anything for me. Like, what'll this do? This will get me more procs of, I mean, it'll up my deeps for sure, because the way the synergy works with my set bonuses and all that stuff, like that'll nah, I'm just gonna go for fucking hero shit. Fuck it. No, you know what? I can wait. Shit. Yeah, I can wait. It's not it's nothing I can sweat over. You got screwed on the vault and the double just didn't get anything. Oh, that sucks, dude. Sorry to hear about that. Let's see. Agree without context, where we can't see the road, we are to follow for infinite power. Actually, no, I have the road. No, the road's right here. I can tell you guys what the road is. What I can't tell you is if the road is actually worth it, or what do you actually? How much more powerful are we going to get out of it? But I think there's like this kind of like easy. There's kind of an easy way to do this. So I think one of the more. Yeah, let me make this bigger for the people out there. I think one of the longer paths, honestly, is going to be the zone stuff. So these zone achievements, these are going to get you like different cosmetics that people might be interested in, and I'm going to present it to folks. Hey, here's a picture of the thing. If you want it, cool. This is what you do to get it, right? But this is going to be the most time-consuming thing, because you'll need to do one of two kinds of achievements, because it's a meta. So you need to do like the campaign stuff, or do the heroic dungeons, or do exploration, which includes finding rares and treasures, or get exalted. And to do that, like, your best bet would be, I think, doing dailies in heroic tier, because that's going to get you more reputation. So I think like doing the dungeon and like some of the outdoor content, that would be the fastest way for you to get like these kinds of achievements here. But then you might just be like, screw it, I'm just going to do the campaign and all that stuff anyway, so not a big deal. And it's pretty easy to get rep in the remix, like don't sweat it at all. But I think this may potentially be like one of the longer, like, just grinds. The other one would be these here, doing 150 Eternus dailies and 100 heroic world quests. This is going to take a little while to do. And then the others are just kind of like striving for stuff, completing a 25, completing a plus 25 or a plus 30. I completed a plus 10 without a sweat. I didn't know, like, we went into Court of Stars and I was like, all right, guys, let's see how it goes. And we're all like, oh, this feels like a not a normal dungeon, more like a heroic dungeon. Yeah, it felt like doing a heroic. And I was like, okay, this is pretty easy. I don't feel like I'm going to be challenged until I hit like almost a 20 or something like that. So yeah, that wasn't so bad. And that's with all the affixes and all that stuff going as well. Completing the campaign is going to take a while too, because it's just a lot of questing for all the zones. And so yeah, I'm gonna kind of start a thread and just kind of line through, like, okay, here, do all these things and then you'll be fine. But then there's also for people who do want to get who want to power up, there's going to be like all these different achievements, and I have it all kind of broken down from, I think this is all quest related stuff or outdoor content related stuff. These are doing like all the dungeons in, you know, from normal to mythic. This is these are the dungeons from normal to mythic. This is doing all the campaign stuff. This is doing all of the Sojourner quests, Sojourner achievements in all the zones, including the patch zones, and then this is doing all the raid stuff. So, it's a lot. There's quite a bit to do in the Legion remix because the Legion is just a much bigger game than MoP was. So. Each 2 weeks as the new raid opens up, new item level, max cap, right? So we'll end up close to retail item level, but if item level goes up, the infinite power goes down. If item level goes up, the infinite power goes down each season. I'm not sure. Because what I'm wondering, if every 2 weeks, oh boy. So during this first phase, we were able to earn items from rares and doing quests, and we're able to get a bunch of these corrupted thorn of the, actually, is that the right one? Yeah, it is. We were able to get these corrupted thorn of the dream things. You get 10 of them, and you were able to mostly get these from like quests, world quests, stuff like that. You can also get them from rares, but you can kind of infinitely farm them from heroic world tier and then just grinding mobs basically. Now this has to do the whole Legion remix Skies of Fire, this indicates the first phase of the remix. Now what's going to happen to a brand new to a player who is coming in new to the remix, but then it's going to be a different phase? Are they going to see this at all or not? You know, are they not going to see this and instead they're going to see like the next phase of stuff? Maybe, probably. And so that creates a, hey, cool, here's like an easy catch up for me to get much higher item level than people were able to get during the first phase. The difference between people who farm at the start and then farm at the end is obviously the people who started from the very beginning, they'll have like a whole shitload of bronze, and then they'll probably have a whole shitload of infinite stats, as well as the mementos, which are kind of replacing threads. So they'll have like a bajillion stamina. So while newer folks will be, in theory, right? This is just me theory crafting here. In theory, when we get to like the last phase or so, you're gonna have these people coming in late, be like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm so smart. I came in, after everything opened up, which is cool because they'll be able to get like that much. They'll be able to get that much more item level faster, but they'll be grossly behind on mementos. So the model that I'm thinking is those folks that just come in later, they're going to be glass cannons. It's like, all right, guys, come on in, let's go. And then we're gonna go into mythic raids or keys or whatever, and like, we're all gonna run in, and then mobs are gonna be like, all right, let's go, and then their battle aura will just like vaporize the people who are new because they don't have a whole lot of stamina, and then the other dudes are just like, that felt like a somewhat harsh wind, right, boys? And then they'll proceed to lay waste to everything. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration, most likely. But that's the guess. And then of course, those people, they're going to be like grinding for bronze and all that stuff. Meanwhile, the people who've been here, like, they might just be done already, and they'll be like, okay, cool. Because I farmed up a good bit of bronze during the trial as well. About 300,000 or so bronze I was able to get, and that let me get a whole bunch of the exclusive stuff. So the hope is, when I talk this up, I'm going to tell people, hey, go for these achievements here, and by the time you come out of it, you're more than likely going to be able to purchase most, if not all, of the exclusive remix stuff. Not all of it, but like most of it, because there are some things that are new that are gated behind other stuff. Notably, like, oh, there's like this new Scythe or something like that. And but then that you're not going to be, you won't be able to get that until Antorus opens up. So alpha when? Good question. Good question. I don't flippin' know. I don't know, man. Hopefully today. No, it's not gonna be today. But hopefully like sometime soon. It's gonna be wild though. We're gonna be like juggling things like alpha, beta, maybe the remix, maybe housing. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of wild. Let me see if I can do some work. I can do that. Can't do that. All right. What are the requirements for the Mythic Plus artifact appearances? There are no artifact appearances in the remix. Also, longtime fan, you're the only wild content maker I watch now. Oh, thank you. I wish I knew how to pronounce your name. It's not gonna happen. But thank you, dude. No, I appreciate that. Alpha Silver went up last week, allegedly. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. Alpha Beta Remix early housing pre-patch. Well, I'm thinking like. So what I'm hoping for is patch 10 point. I'm sorry, 10. 11.27, like the PTR. I'm hoping that includes housing because, hopefully, maybe, and then we'll be able to like test it out. And if it does, then my raid's gonna be in trouble. They're gonna be like, "Hey, you're gonna show up, dude? It's like 7:10." I'm like, "Oh shit, my bad, guys." And that's if I do answer. Shoot. Alpha email drops now. So I was like, you know what? Hold on. Let's take a look real quick. I have to like go to my oh gosh. So all right, here's a question for folks. How many of you guys, or is there anyone out there who is using whose BattleNet login is attached to an email that they do not use anymore? Mine is. Mine's like an old Yahoo email address. I'm like, I don't use this for a damn thing anymore. I mean, it's been 20 years, right? All right, free money. Woo-woo. Which deed was it? It was all done. Okay. The kind of held on to the 11.7 PTR for a bit, so it's reasonable. When is remix possibly? From the sounds of it, Zucre, it's going to be right at the start of the remix. I'm sorry, right at the start of the patch. Brain fog. Yeah. Let's call that out. By the way, Sonata, thank you for the bits. Moon Happy, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. And not just test it out, but if they do actually have that export feature, if it exists, that'll be a great opportunity for folks to save loadouts. Exactly. That's my hope. I want to cheat. So that way day one I'll be like, oh, here's my loadout. Boom. Now, in fairness, I think like the hustle and bustle of housing at the very start, it's going to be one of several things. One, it's going to be diving straight into the creation process. That's going to be me. I want to both learn how to create stuff, but also get used to the controls, because I want to build up a really good aptitude for, okay, I want to be able to, I want it to feel more natural as quickly as possible. So I want to master the controls. Two, lots of collection. Going back and collecting things that aren't already like set up, that we may have just learned about, like, oh, go to this place for a recipe, or for a component or something like that, or oh, we could start farming for lumber and all that stuff. Let's go raise the land of all of its resources and stuff. So of course people are going to slide between both those things, and that'll be cool. Right at the start of October. Yeah. I think it's like the week of October 7th is guesstimated to be the. I think I'm on my main, so I have like all my guesses here. Yeah, so I'm saying 11/2/5, the week of October 7th. Woo-woo. What are Bob's plans for housing? That's what we really want to know. That guy has it going on. I'm definitely going to make a room for him, for sure. It'll be like a little closet thing, and then he'll be miserable, but whatever. I made a dedicated gaming email address back in the day, so the only thing that goes in there. Oh, that's smart. That's hella smart, dude. I designed stuff in CAD for a living earlier, so I'm super excited for the housing, as the housing program looks very close to what I do normally. No, it's very, even during, so Gamescom, it felt more advanced. When I did the testing, the play testing and stuff, that was back in May, and it looks like it came, it's coming along. For Remix, when we try to do Mythic Plus, do we have to look up guides for dungeon mechanics? Not really. Doesn't feel like it. I mean, there are, like the thing that you want to look at, Balthazar, would be like the tooltips for like, okay, here are the affixes, and then just mouse over and just look at what the affixes are, and then just kind of try to deal with it. But there are things that we don't quite know about Mythic Plus either. Like, how are keys going to work? Are they going to deplete at all? Because I don't even know that. Let's actually try that out. Yeah, Remix still works. So yeah, what happens if we fail a key? Does it deplete? Or what? October 7th and January 16th was the data mine dates, but not confirmed. Correct. Yeah, not confirmed. But the phrasing that they've talked about very, very strongly indicates that the remix will begin with the patch, and the guesstimated time of the patch is, you know, October 7th or so. It will just be deleted. This seems to be like what Blizzard will do these days. I mean, we're using PTR stuff, so I don't know how that's gonna really behave. It might be doo-doo. So, you know, I want to see what the behavior is. October has a lot going on if they actually kept the spooky event. Yeah, I wonder if they, I wonder if that's still going to be a thing. If it is, cool. If it's not, oh well. I mean, I'm not gonna sweat over it. But of course, it was announced, so Blizzard promised, yada yada yada. Okay, so we will collect a time-worn keystone, and it just disappeared. Okay, so oh, I think I have a key already. No, I don't. Time-worn? Nope. Okay, so I would like a keystone. There we go. Yay! All right. So I now have a keystone. Okay, this is fine. Tenai, Vishara. Let's roll. Bunch of months for the Headless Horseman. We're also data mined as remixed sources, though no connection on the PTR for those yet. Yeah, since we're, you know, I mean, I remember, I think it was last year, they had a PTR for new things that were coming in Hell's End, you know, like updates. Maybe that was 2 years ago. But we haven't seen anything here, so it doesn't sound like there's going to be any actual new gameplay mechanic-y stuff that's going to be brought in for that, but it could be the spooky event. It might not be like as big of a thing that we think. You know, player hype tends to always be overblown. So what we see here, I don't know what to expect, but it still might not be a great indicator as to like what will actually happen. Because my hope is that keys don't deplete. I'm sorry, you know, they don't downgrade. My bad. Okay, so I'm here, and I suck, and I leave. What's your opinion of the new emotes? I used to think it was silly, but after playing Final Fantasy and Fortnite that have emotes that can interact with each other, I really want an update. Oh, I would love to. I've been a big proponent of introducing new emotes because what Final Fantasy 14 does is pretty smart. They introduce new emotes as they go along, so that way when they do their cutscenes, which 14 is very, very heavy with cutscenes and stuff, they introduce new things, but then they also have like some, crazy premium stuff that they do for just like crazy animations and all that. But then they'll apply those and offer them up as rewards, whether it is something you get from a quest or if they put it on the paid shop, whatever. I think WoW should totally lean into that. It's a good excuse for them to make new emotes, and sorry to be pro corpo, but for them to just generate revenue out of it. Like a lot of the times when you want to greenlight stuff like that, the bean counters at the corpo place will be like, well, how do you justify this and blah blah blah. But it's kind of easy to be like, well, it's gonna make us money. Okay. So I think they should try it. Like one time, they should do like the, like the Lich King pose, like the thing with holding the sword or whatever. Do that. Sell one emote and see what the public does. I have a feeling that it's going to go well, and then they're going to just pump out shitty emotes. I mean, hopefully they won't be shitty, but they'll pump out more emotes, and ultimately people will win. I'd like to think. It is now a odd depleted, it downgraded. Shit. So my hope was that it wouldn't downgrade, because I wonder, like, on a weekly basis, like, what's going to happen? I don't know. We don't know, like, if these will refresh every week, every day, every couple of days, because I think that it should go on this whole accelerated schedule. I don't think refreshing the affixes per week is going to work, because there's only so many weeks available in the remix. They should just have like some sort of accelerated thing, I think. With the remix being on live servers, they can't really change how keys work, I think, not without affecting the current ones. Yeah, but this is different. So, yeah, these are different keystones altogether. I think they can. And because I think they can, they should. And that's really all I got. Could finally allow the dances for the races, having the rep or something, be great to be able to organize a dance party. I mean, think of it like this, dudes. If they did like a whole emote thing where it's like, get ready for battle or something like that, and then people had like this whole like, that whole kind of like ramp up sort of thing, that would be cool. People would, I think some people would love that. Other people, it would just kind of like be one, in one ear, out the other. They wouldn't give one fuck about it. And that's fine. Just like how people don't care about other things and just let that thing go by. I don't really talk about shop stuff much these days, because that's how I feel about it. It's just there. I'm not going to talk it up, but yeah, if people want to care about it, then they're going to care about it. So I think they should do it, though. I think in the end, it's to their benefit if they were to introduce like emotes. It'd be really cool if there was a way to be like open a menu or something like that, and you could toggle certain things, like, oh, if you die or if you're killed, do you see the old emote that you always see, or do you have like a new one, like this bombastic, oh my god, this really like over dramatic death, or you just explode. Or something, you just explode into this puddle of meat juice or something like that. That'd be kind of funny. Are we getting a lot of gold in the remix to eventually transition over? No, that's not how it works. You don't get gold from this. I happen to loot what 20,000 gold from this. It doesn't mean anything. The way that it's more than likely going to work is that when you pull your character out, you're going to get like this kind of like a minimum thing based on the character level that you were at, and that's all it's going to care about, more than likely. It's not going to care like how much artifact power you farmed on that character, whatever. It's just going to be like as if you have a boosted character, a boosted level 80 character, minus the reputation stuff. So. Got time before it goes live? I mean, I would like for them to do something different with keys, right? Because there hopefully will be a scenario where I want to try over and over again to push a key by myself, and if I end up having to like have to go through, if it feels like, you know, I'm going up a treadmill, that's gonna kind of suck. I'd rather prefer it to just be a series of steps. You know what I mean? I want to be able to just climb, and if I fail, then the key just like blah blah, then just blah. But I can try again like right away. How's remix this time around? Is it any faster, and do you feel more like a raid boss? At the moment, no. Right now we're not seeing like the whole like, oh my god, I'm like super overpowered and all that stuff. Not yet, at least. I think there are just features and stuff that's just missing at the moment, or that aren't fully fleshed out, and my expectation is that it will be. And if not, then Blizzard will pay the consequences. that's really the long and short of it. I don't have the energy to like get like, oh man, let's get our pitchforks out or whatnot. So I'm just gonna be like, all right, if this is how it feels, then I'm just gonna be doing other stuff. So yeah, easy. If I gained and generated like 10k gold, do they transition over to retail? No, they don't. When's the expected release date? Probably early October. That was my favorite thing about the mob remix. I hope they're not pulling back on that fantasy. It was so fun doing that and just grinding bronze. So like the way that I'm understanding it, and you know, a Blizzard dev who was in our Discord channel kind of echoed the sentiment that I had. Look, I was right. Ha ha ha. I was right, because what happened in the mob remix, like it's funny. People talk about the mob remix like, oh, it was this paradise. It was flawless. It was perfect. It was not perfect. I remember the first couple days. I know I kept my head down because I just kind of like stuck myself into a raid, and I was just farming raid trash over and over again until I hit instance lock, and then I was just kind of running around, bumming around, doing stupid shit until instance lock was free again, and then I went back in. That was me. That was, to me, that was my gameplay. And that's supposed to be like really fun, right? Like early on, people looked, they sought out and committed themselves to the most degen shit that they can find, as long as it got them out of that rut, and then they were able to get to that point. So that hasn't changed. And I think what happened is, once people were able to reach that escape velocity, and once the remix reached that escape velocity, when it was just a series of like burly people carrying others, then people just kind of like forgot about how it started. And it's like, oh, you know, people are just like, oh, it was so great, it was so easy, and blah, blah, blah. I remember how it started though. It was kind of like this. But this, there are definitely things that are missing in the Legion remix right now. So what happened is Blizzard's response to some of this was, okay, let's give people a better path instead of just like looking out for hyper spawns or farming raid trash and refreshing instances and stuff like that. You know, let's adjust things a little bit. So the Heroic World tier is a really, really good addition for the remix. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't have any commentary to on what happens if you bring it to live servers, but I think it's a great addition to the remix, because this lets me actually use not instances, but I can use the whole goddamn expansion zones and just find stuff and, find a place to farm, and I can farm stuff. In heroic world tier, that is. But I can also do stuff in normal world tier until I get to that point. So I don't feel dependent on a group to do this. It's going to be faster in a group, but I definitely have a more viable path than I did in the MOP remix. The only problem is what we actually get while going down these paths just isn't it isn't lucrative enough for us to like get there. So what's up, Fel? What I did during the MOP was the Tamosal rares. Each one dropped a thread or two at the beginning, so I did that to demigod level, not to Frogger speed for the earlier weeks, but it did mean that I was powerful for the full duration. Maybe around week 4 was where mythic raids became easy. Yeah, I think I was able to solo raids like by the time I got to the weekend or so. Like I was grinding really hard. And then once I got to a certain point where I'm like, okay, I can do heroic raids without too much, or no, not heroic raids. I could do raids normally. And then I kind of let myself plateau and just kind of coast. And that was good. I was in a good spot at that point. Now remember, MOP was also limited too. MOP was limited to normal and heroic raids. And you had like the instance locks and the non-flex and all that stuff. And the only mythic raid was at the very end was Siege of Orgrimmar. We had normal, heroic. Did we have? I don't think we had mythic dungeons. Yeah. There were no mythic dungeons. But Legion is just, for like instance content, it's like that much more. There's you have the 3 difficulties between the raids and dungeons, and then you have Mythic Plus, which is infinite. So they had to like consider that as well. I think harder open worlds here would be a banger for retail. I think they're doing some with the praise system. Since it's optional, it would be huge to bring the world back. I think what they're doing already has been fantastic for like the world. There's just a whole lot to do. There's people are out, they're doing things, there's activities and what have you. The praise system adds a little bit more. Honestly, I don't feel like heroic world tier as is with the remix. I don't think that's going to do much for the live game. I don't think that would help, because all it is tougher mobs. That's it. Tougher mobs, better rewards. But then where does that slide into everything else? Does that mean in heroic world tier in live service, is that going to get you veteran gear? Champion gear? I don't know. Like you got to wedge that in somewhere and create some sort of like reward system that'll make it feel worth it, but it feels like it's not being too heavy to where people are only going to do heroic world tier because, oh, that's the place where we have to go. Got a myth helm with socket, myth gloves, or myth ring with avoidance. Unsure what to grab. I didn't get anything great. I'm probably going to get like a tier chest. I'm probably going to get a chest and convert that, but I'm probably going to wait because there's nothing urgent that I need to get. That, and I'm looking at remix stuff right now anyway. I'm excited for the remix. I just want to see the full road rather than just being told the road is there while we get a roadblock up on the Peter. Yeah, I know that part kind of sucks, but at least we get a bigger preview, if nothing else. So I at least give Blizzard, credit where it's due. When we were first introduced to the MOP remix, we had like 1 weekend. That was it. We had like 3-4 days, something like that. And I don't think they brought it back for a second test. Here, at least, I think they gave us the longer trial because they knew that there was going to be a lot of people giving feedback about like the changes and how it's different and all that stuff. And so, and I'm also glad that they opted to give us a second round of the trial again to, and it is an improvement. There's just some fundamental things that we still need answers for. But I think it's on a good trajectory. As for what actually ends up happening, I don't know. I'll tell you this though, I'm still going to do it because the bronze farm alone, like that's perfectly viable. Like even without the power fantasy, like just going for the bronze, that's going to be a long enough road that it's gonna be like an overlapping thing anyway, because unlike the mop remix, you're doing both anyway. You're not choosing, oh, I'm gonna do bronze versus versus powering up. No, you're gonna do both at once. So that's a huge plus. The question is going to be like, how long are we going to stay in it? You know, are people going to and that was my question early on too. My thought was, okay, I'm going to go hard at the start and then I'm going to wait until like the next thing comes out. And that's kind of like the plan at the moment, because going through all the zones, it's going to take a while. It's a lot of quests, it's a lot of stuff, but I'm probably not going to give a damn about raids and dungeons because I don't need to do it so far. That can wait until later. In the meantime, I'm going to focus on like just getting all whatever achievements and whatnot that I can in all the zones and leave it at that, because that's going to get me a boatload of bronze, infinite power, stuff like that. It'll prepare me for the next thing. What's going to kind of suck though is once we get to like that, once we start like getting into the phases, like phase 1 is all of this, all the zones plus Suramar. Phase 2, if I recall, is just going to be like another quest line in Suramar plus Nighthold. That's it. So 2 weeks of that. Now, of course, there's everything else too. You know, these still exist. It's not like what comes here is going to be useless either. You know, everything will still apply. Everything will still give bronze and all that stuff. Phase 3 is going to be Broken Shore, wherever that is. Okay, it's not even showing up here. Phase 3, phase 3 is Broken Shore, plus the Legion invasions. So we get the one zone, plus the Centenac stuff. Woohoo. But then, of course, everything else still matters too. Everything else, you know, world quest and all that stuff, that will still add stuff. And then after in the final phase, when Argus is introduced, okay, cool. We have a much more meaty questing experience. Plus, I forgot to mention the dungeon from Broken Shore. You know, Argus plus dungeon plus raid, you know, all the zone content, and still everything here matters, because when we visit the infinite time person, they're going to be like, oh, go ahead and do these things. Okay. And then we go off and do it. So the idea is that everything's going to stay relevant. We're not going to, like, you know, leave zones behind for the most part, because everything's going to be meant to be lucrative. So I'm still fairly sure they hamstrung their base for Remix. The people who complained about the mob playstyle were not people who complain about the mod playstyle were not their day-to-day players. Maybe not in that sense. I mean, it's, we'll see. I wonder if the Suramar questlines will still require big amounts of mana. Yes, it will. Now the thing is about Suramar, I actually, when I was playing through, I did Suramar first. Like I quested to a point where I don't know what level I needed to be. I guess it was level 30. But as soon as I was able to go to Suramar, I stayed here, and I did like everything that I could. Like there are some quests here that are not done, and then there's some quest icons here that I didn't quite figure out yet. But I mostly stayed here. So nothing. There are rep gates like there were before. But as you do questing, you get like these 2,000 rep tokens and stuff. Like you'll be able to do Suramar in a day, essentially. Even with the rep requirements, you'll be able to just like grind through, get everything done, and that also includes all of the bonuses that you get from with the ancient mana stuff that you're not gonna really like. I think there was like maybe 1 or 2 times where I was like, "Ooh, I need more mana," and so I went around and gathered stuff. You know, I picked some flowers and some pots around Suramar City, so I can like get over the hump and then complete some requirement here, and that was it. But it was otherwise very, very brisk. Withered training is still a thing, and that was like that was my main motivation, because I really loved withered training, and so I'm like, I want to do it again. And that's still there too. Now, one thing about this though, I don't think I'll test it here because I don't want to mess it up. When I started Withered Training here in the remix, there was like a debuff that I had that said something like, you can't do this again for like 15 minutes. However, when I completed Withered Training here on the remix, I wasn't able to do it again until the next day. So it refreshes every day. But that debuff made it sound like we can just jump right back in as long as we have Ancient Mana. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Is it intended for us to just like hard farm if we wanted to? Or is it like a daily sort of thing? And I'm not sure. Any Vault Joy? It's all right. I'm more than likely gonna pick up a tier chest. Like there's a really good crit trinket that I can pick up too, but I'm probably not gonna pick that up. That's not really my style, but it might be something for like Kai Veza or something like that. Because I don't need my full self-healing loadout for a Kai Veza. It's nice because I don't need to I shouldn't need to worry about like any sort of like danger or dying, but I get one shot anyway. One thing I've been seeing is anyone post the actual bronze gain per source. I know at 3636 you get 800 per normal raid boss, but I've yet to see how much we get. As far as I recall, the infinite power thing has nothing to do with how much bronze you get. So infinite knowledge, I'm at 15. So you only get infinite power for this. Now, there are 36 levels of infinite knowledge. Okay, so you're talking about infinite power. Okay. Now, you started this, so I'm finishing. So there are 36 levels of infinite knowledge. However, there are more than 36 things of infinite knowledge that you get via achievements. So there's 12 unlimited power achievements when you gain a total of 5 million infinite power. And then there's like 30 something or other achievements here as well. So I don't know how much bronze you get from getting infinite knowledge past 36, but I'm hoping that it's like a nice chunk, like a bajillion. I'm sure it's not. It's probably like 5,000 or something like that at most. But then, yeah, that's how that works. Were you sad when you saw Blizzard was going to nerf the Dell Belt? No, because they're not nerfing it for me. See, that's why my playstyle rocks, because no one does it. No one does what I do. You know why? Because I'm abnormal. So you're talking about the infinite power per source. I'm not sure either, but I think in practice, the two best bets are going to be like, if you can slam dungeons fast in a group, like a 3-man group, you're gonna rip through dungeons and raids probably, unless the raids require like multiple people for like a raid mechanic. 3 geared people is all it takes, and then everyone else is in for the ride. So that's the big nerf. 3 people can do everything as long as they're fairly geared, and then everyone else will hopefully like survive long enough to like just not die and just be like dead weight. And that applies to like the highest levels, including doing 25s and 30s in keys. That's my guess. Something like 60 bosses to get 1 infinite power rank at 3636. If it continues to be 800 per boss, so just wondering if Infinite Plus completion gains more than 800. I'm not even thinking about the infinite trait right now because it's just busted, and there's like different ways they can go about improving the infinite trait that my commentary is limited to. It kind of sucks right now, and I hope that they do something about it, because it sucks because it sucks. So, So those are coming out. Yeah, yeah. It was like it wasn't an official comment, they said, but it was on our Discord actually, where I posted it up on socials where uh, they said that they wanted to do something about the solo power fantasy, but stay tuned basically. So we'll see how that goes. Ultimately, though, I think a lot of folks, they're going to be wandering around here during Heroic World tier, because they're going to be looking for activating hyper spawns, and otherwise looking for like easy ways to farm up empowered mobs, such as like this little stretch here where there's like a lot of like little dudes that aren't like too strong. These are like kind of like basic looking mobs, but then they also, depending on the affix, they can summon like some really burly dudes, so you want to be kind of careful of that. But then otherwise, like, it's not too big of a... Yeah, it's not too big of a thing. I'd be even okay with the infinite rank giving 1% secondary stat that rotates, so by that time the season ends, we'd be close to hard capping regardless. Maybe. So 400 bronze from that. So 100, I think that's 100? Yeah, so that's 100 stam there. The stam isn't something to be fully like dismissed either, although I think the scaling should work like a little bit better. So that was about 150 stamina that I got from that. So once you're in Heroic World tier and you get to a certain point, I'm a tank, so I'm a big cheater. But I definitely do less damage than a DPS. Ooh, man, they do some ridiculous throughput. But I have ridiculous survivability too. So not everyone's going to be able to like go into, let's say, like this spot here. Like DPS won't be able to do this, at least like not at this stage of the remix, like maybe in later phases or so. But this is why like so much of my footage was spent like here. To me, this is thread farming, the way I see it. And just keep doing this until you reach like a level of survivability where like this is trivial, and like there you go. And so my temptation would be to like switch to Ret or something like that once I reach a level of survivability, but I think that's pretty far away. Because like some of these guys, they're very, very tanky. Like these guys are like super spongy. Despite me trying to focus a little bit harder on dealing damage. So is chat broken? No, chat doesn't seem broken. Too mesmerized by the AoE. It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers. Like I would be cool with like, because one other thing that I haven't commented on or haven't really like talked about is, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, other folks who have done remix stuff, there's no account-wide stats, not like the cloak. So part of me is thinking like for alts, it's gonna be really like kind of distressing because they're gonna be so much further behind and there's no inherited stats that you carry over to other characters. So like these guys are really like nasty to fight. 600 bronze, some stuff, 25 stats. Hey, give me the rest of the stuff. Yeah, so no 100 stat things there. Yeah, I think they just need to have like more of that. And then like the idea though is ultimately you mostly want to just look for mobs that have, I mean, Sword Mar's dangerous, but you mostly want to just look for mobs that are empowered, so that way you get the chance of getting these like special stats. This will alter alt leveling big time, do you think? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because I've convinced myself that the infinite trait is just busted and hasn't been fully thought through yet. But my commentary on alts is limited though, because to me, I don't really care about leveling alts. I was able to get my XP modifier up to 274. That's pretty high. I don't think mine's nearly that high. Mine's in like less sub 100. Okay, 99%. Did you make other characters? Because I did not. I didn't level any other characters. And I know that they made some changes in the second trial where they added some other XP multipliers. It's not an alt leveling event. I mostly agree. I don't see it as like an alt leveling sort of thing. But I think that's feedback for them to take home, because I think because some people want it to be. I just feel like these days there are all these different kinds of alt leveling events to the point where there's no standout event anymore. You know, there isn't like this one event that's like, oh, this is the time to do it, man. Because when the remix is over, we're going to be close to the pre-patch. And the pre-patch is also a big leveling event. So what do we do? You know, we just have leveling events all, you know, on a regular basis to where it just feels watered down. Yeah, they're adding the 5 slots, so there is like that intention. It's just right now I'm not seeing it. Oh, I'm in danger. All right, no, I'm not. I got my goal. I'd skip remix altogether if it wasn't for the fact that they're having a housing vendor in it. See, what's funny is that they unflagged the housing title from that character. I think it's because they're like, oh, whoops, we wanted this to be more of a surprise, but oh well. It's no longer a surprise. Now we just expect it to happen. So. In a world with winds and everything else, no, we don't. I mean, last season was really heavy. We had like, the wind came twice, I think. Turbulent timeways is, you know, it's like a regular seasonal thing. It's amazing that we have turbulent timeways on a regular basis, but not trial of style. Like, what gives with that? So you can see here, like, I don't have too much trouble surviving. It's just it's just these guys being like really spongy. These guys are very like time consuming to kill. But DPS can rip through these. Trust. So with one friend, you'll be able to tear through this. And then this thing sucks. This fragmented memento or whatever. Like, this does not feel great. This feels like it should be like combine 10 of these, not 100 of these, because yeah, I'm gonna guess that they typoed that. Yeah, so like this dude, I don't know why this thing has like so much extra health, but oh well. Does everyone else have that much health? 118. No, it is that high. Never mind. What about that one? That one also. Oh, buck 29. Yeah. So fighting dudes by myself sucks. I don't want to talk about turbulent time once I messed up on pad. Well, you can just buy it though. It's what, 5,000 things? Time War badges, right? That's not so bad. Is it 5,000 or 50,000? I think it's 5,000. Anyway, I'm done on the remix. We're done. I'll try to drop by and get footage for like maybe one more video. Buy it from any time walking vendor. So like the time walking vendors, they include stuff that you missed out on from the Turbulent Timeway event thing. You know, in case you weren't there to do all 5 weeks or however many weeks worth of time walking stuff. Yeah. It's not on vendors yet, but it'll show up. I'm sure it'll probably show up on the next patch or something like that, because it it returns pretty fast, right? So yeah, don't sweat it. It'll eventually pop back up. The FOMO for that doesn't exist. Yay! So, I mean, you're paying 5,000. You know, you got to throw it on the 5,000 badges. So there's that, but it's not like gone. Kind of like the you know, when people were scared of the delve mount, you know, and I pointed at that too. I'm like, oh, dude, how are we gonna get the delve mount? But then they just moved it to the vendor. That's all. All right, so I want to get hopefully good shit. So I need to do. I think this is the only one I really need to do, because I want to get the trinkets or the boots. Yeah, there's a tanking trinket that I want. And then there's that Rishi wrap boot, shoes, whatever's that I want to get. All right, so let me keep an eye out for. I hadn't checked my email yet. My Yahoo email. All right, let's see. Nope, nothing there. Oh, there's a survey. Oh, there's a survey from my class. See, I miss out on all the surveys because I don't check my email very often. Not my Battle.net email. Iron Jesus is fickle. Fickle? No, it's a malignant. It's got a grudge. Powder farm and raid farmer for these power items. Oh, that's how it goes. I don't even know if it's a. I'm not even certain if it's an actual improvement for me, but because I'm a tank, it's like, so I guess having more of the Rishi wrap procs will help my survivability a bit. But I think the issue that I give myself, and this is like a self-inflicted thing, is my threat fucking sucks. If my I don't know if he's in chat. If my co-tank was more competent, I'd be in trouble. I would be forced to, if not already, I would, and maybe he is holding back for all I know. I'd have to force myself to like spec so that I can like do more threat. I don't want to tell the other tank, no, I need you to not do as much threat so I can keep playing the way that I want to. That doesn't feel right to me. But I definitely struggle with threat. Well, not for every fight, but for some fights, it's rough. The ring and boots is big. Really, the ring is a big deal? This one? Yeah. I didn't think it was that big. Delray, thank you. Thank you very much for the tier 1. Thanks so much for your continued info and sharing a while. Thank you. That's super nice of you, dude. Yay. How the turn has table. I know. Sucks, right? All you had to do was leave. All you had to do was leave. Shucks. Well done, Winky. Well done. You saved the guild. Now stop putting weird shit into the, what's it called? Guild work orders. The cape pushes more procs. The ring works on procs. The cape. Oh. So it pushes the ring as well. Okay, well, that's cool. Now I really want the boots. Who got them last week? I think there were 2 pairs of boots. Yeah, so there were 2 undeserving. The unworthy got them. That's how it always works, right? Anyone who gets the thing that you want didn't deserve it. Clearly. One tune struggling for Valistons while other tunes are swimming in it. I think I'm not Captain Valistons right now. I'm at 1364. Look at that, big spender. They're for your alt profession quest. Quest? What does yeah, what does that do? Because otherwise, like, how come you don't just send personal orders? Every time I win loot in raids, I always get whispered by people wanting something when I need it. Yeah, I should remind myself. DNB. Just in case. Just in case I grab transmog that people want. I have my best trinket in your vault. Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, oh, that's the crit trinket that a lot of people want. And it actually would be kind of useful for me. But then I still want all my, like, my external healing trinket things. Like, to me, that's too important to not have. Look, otherwise I'm not playing in character, man. That just wouldn't be right. My response is always 2 million to those people. That's, you know, that's a good ask. Yeah, I say that's not bad. Let's see. Today is not. This week is not a crafting week, so no new gilded stuff. But I still gotta knock that out. All right, see you later, Neeb. What sucks though is that when I have been doing raid finders, it looked pretty obvious that there are people who were, you know, they're changing their loot specs because they wanted to get like the tanking stuff too. I'm like, bastards. Which is weird because it's like, why did you queue up as DPS? That's like a longer queue. Like, why are you punishing yourself like that? That's a long wait. Potentially long wait. But then again, they might be, actually now that I think about it, they might be with other people in the hope that they'll be able to give it to their friends who happen to be in the group as well. So I guess there's that. Yeah, why don't I do that? No. Hey guild, let's go do raid finder so we can funnel trinkets. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, some people they'll roll on things that they don't need, knowing that they can trade it because they just want to sell it for gold. Not really my thing. Because I don't care what you offer me, I'm gonna keep it. I'm rolling on this for transmog. I want it. I don't want to do this later. So too bad, so sad. We all here? Looks like we're all here. So you do swap out loot for tank? Oh, you villain. Alright, so 12 minutes before maybe they announce something. Well, before there might be news. We'll see. Yeah, so I have a feeling that I am going to use, that I'm just going to grab a hero chest. I don't see myself getting myth gear anytime soon. Used to be in a guild with members that would do it. Hey, people want that gear, right? To me, that's not like something that I'm comfortable asking people to do. See, what is funny though, even though I don't focus on dealing damage at all, I still parse okay. They're green parses. It's not impressive at all. But I'm just surprised that I even get that. But I think if I just do a little bit better at tracking I forgot what the ability is called. The thing where I throw down the super consecration bomb thing. I think that would help a lot. I just don't. I probably would do better if I used the record to track it, because having to, find the stacks here, that's not great. If anything, I should just practice at that. Left on shortly after. Took a break from BFA to start to Dub. Found out Blood of Pallies get a special transmog from doing the Heritage quest, but it goes through Shadowlands. Thoughts on how to get those zones unlocked? I am not sure. I mean, if you've never played through it, then I don't think there's much of a solution there. I think you'll have to at least access the zones. I mean, once you do get access, then you should be good to go. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm noticing only now. Sometimes I'll get 2 charges of, what is it called? Divine Guidance. I'll get like 2 at once. I'm not quite sure why. Do I echo something? I don't think so. No, that's not it. 3, there's still 3. Maybe I'm spamming too hard. Yeah, that gave me 2 charges. How does that work? Well, even then, the damage was not as good as I wanted it to be. Come on. We're gonna do keys 10s this week. I guess I have time. I think I should have time this week. Are you gonna show up? Yeah, because last time, like when I wanted to at least like check out Talsvich to see how bad it was, like, I had Neeb and Mac show up, which is fine, but like their DPS is just left, super left wanting. I haven't played any of Shadowlands. I need to get to Maldraxxus, but I can't fly there from the hub. I was hoping to get around the whole campaign just for this quest. No, I think you would just need to do it. Because if I recall, that quest line, part of that quest line, involves going to Shadowlands. I think. Sort of, kind of. So, yeah, I think you do need to have played through Shadowlands for it. So it's as good as for you. It's not rude if it's the truth. Rah! I mean, with the way I play, I was doing competitive damage. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll post something on Discord if I decide to do it. And it's going to be the usual time, you know, Wednesday or whatever. Truth hurts? It does. I remember 10, sometimes I'd be telling you, dude, stop helping. Stop trying to heal. Just pump. Just deal damage. Got woken up to buy versus to do that, Ren. I needed a body. You know, this was a fun boss to do on Heroic. I enjoyed it. It's intense. There's a lot going on. But I still found it a lot of fun. I don't know if we're taunting right, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Come on, buddies. I was falling asleep on this during our kill last week. I really don't remember Fractalus at all. I mean, we were wrapping things up. I just wanted to get some pulls in. But we actually got pretty far on Fractalus. I think we just need to, you know, clean things up and then we'll be okay. Yeah, there's another double proc of the buff whenever now it happens whenever I heal myself. So why is that? Has that always been a thing? People bitching when we didn't celebrate the normal 15 minutes early was wild. I mean, sometimes it's a good time. Other times it's not. So there. And we did make good progress on it too. I think people were just kind of pumped off of like, hey, we got a kill. You know, we got momentum, right? And we kind of did. You know, it wasn't enough, but that's energy to take advantage of. So that was another 4. I gotta figure this out. Is it a crit that gets me 2 stacks? Okay, that was 1. 1 stack. That was 2 stacks. That was 1. Yeah, I don't know. I can't figure it out. That's 1 stack. I guess I shouldn't stress over it too much, but it'll help with the threat. Be on a heroic salad bar this week? What's heroic salad bar? Nope. What's that? Nope. Yes. Fuck. Okay. Neck. Nope. 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 Lame. Okay. Thanks to Flan. Thank you, dude. We got another 2 or 3 weeks being stuck on the last 2 bosses from history. Maybe. Oh, so Saldahar is called Salad Bar. That's not a salad bar at all. People think of weird names. Ooh, 10:01. Anything new? Nope. No news. All sadness. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we at least, at some point, we learn more about hero trees. That's something I want to learn about. Remember the sausage? Nope. Salad bar into Dimmy Dome? Yeah, people are weird. I would have liked... Well, what would other Dementius names... What other would be... I mean, Daddy D, I think that's like Denathrius. I think that's kind of like owned. But I think Jesus wouldn't have been that bad. Oh well. Last time I found an article from Stockholm, the first one was nicknamed the sausage. I don't know if I ever had a name for it. I think it was just like, oh, that boss that no one likes. That really shitty one. The really shitty one where people kept telling us to use a weak R, and I'm like, no, we're not using a stupid weak R for it. Stop it. Weak auras. Weak auras are for weak people. I don't think I've ever pronounced that one boss's name. It was just that one boss. There are a lot of bosses where I'm like, we don't talk about this guy anymore. Because we just had traumatic experiences that we don't ever want to like speak of ever again. Like the purple dragon boss from Wrath, it goes as far back as that. Hell, no one even knows the full story because it keeps getting embellished every time we tell that story. What was great, but I got the Tome of Priority on my Bear Druid and not my Prop Heli main. Game just trying to make me main Bear this time. That sucks. Yeah, I think that was one of the first things I got from the vault, and I'm like, oh, well, that's nice, but I don't use it. To me, that trinket sucks. Weaker killed guilds because you could live the mechanic by just running, but relying on the weaker just had so many slow reactors dying. I mean, I know it tried to assign people to like certain lanes and stuff, if I recall. But yeah, it was just awkward, troublesome. I really wish they gave you something extra for getting dropped into a half-done run. I mean, sometimes it works to our benefit because it's like, okay, this is the boss that I want. and like, and I'm almost through. More often than not, though, we feel kind of screwed, though. Yeah. I think this is the only raid finder I need to do, aside from getting that cape from the first wing. Otherwise, I ain't gonna sweat. Come on, tank. Nope. Denied. This game is stupid. Nobody likes this game anymore. Several teams got tokens from vaults. Nice, nice. Okay, I'm like killing my coffee. Crap. I should be focusing on the tea first. Okay, so there goes, so scratch that. Nothing there. Yeah, I guess I'll just get the tier stuff. Let's get it out of the way. So, sorry, Trinket. Not this time. I'm gonna get me a hero thing. Hero thing, right? Yep. Main tune is 5 out of 5. Nice. Well, now I am 4 of 4 hero, so I am good to go. This dude is done with getting tier. Did I get any tier tokens from the raid? Nope. I don't think pretty sure I didn't. I'm pretty confident I'm like 0 for everything when it comes to getting tier off the actual raid. I've most definitely been getting it like this way instead, which is lame, but oh well. Alright, hooray. And then I'll bring that up in a bit so I can get that to 704. And then now the only things holding me back are like, eventually you want to make a new shield and new bracers. I don't know what I'll make first, because like this isn't bad. This shield isn't bad. Like it helps. Like it actually does some healing. So I got no complaints on that. What do you think would be nice to farm before midnight? Depends. I mean, well, the only thing to farm really would be like cosmetics. I would say, well, it depends on what you want to do. Like if you're interested in housing and getting like some of those things, you might be interested in leveling up professions across the board, or farming up rep with old factions that you might not have finished up. So that way you'll be able to just walk over to those vendors and get stuff. Even quests might be helpful, because like this is the one thing that might get me to finally do all the old Cataclysm zones, because I've never gone through all of them. There might be achievements, or there might be vendors or whatever that sell things that are related to housing. So I might end up doing that. Want to try Trinket pushing to the 700? Yeah. I find, yeah, it so far it is the ether gauze that is that I finally replaced the swarm alert, because this one just does, it does a little bit better, and a little bit better is good enough. So but what I'd like to try out is the Fractalist tanking trinket, because that one will get me a bit more damage, and if the defensiveness is decent enough, I might switch to that one instead. So that way it'll help with like my threat issues. So I just want my home to look baller. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. There's been a lot of pushback though on what Blizzard has recently said about, hey guys, if depending on your neighborhood, your housing exteriors are going to always match that neighborhood. So the whole thing with faction restrictions. So if you're in an alliance neighborhood, then you have to have the alliance exterior. If you're horde, then vice versa. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that either, except in the case of public neighborhoods. In public neighborhoods, I think that's still okay, but in private, in the guild and charter neighborhoods, I think people should have the freedom to choose whichever housing they want, because in these guild and charter neighborhoods, these are all, cross faction, they're private. So it's whatever the owner and their community decides. So yeah, not being able to do that is pretty lame. Like an HOA, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, he mentioned Molten Front as well as Pascal King from Mechagun. So okay, what was I going to do again? Dells is what I was going to do. What kind of dells? We're going to favorites. Don't like it, and crash. Oh no. Oh. At least the favorite comes first. I hope it's the favorite. Actually, which story is it? It is Explorers Competition. I think that one's easy one. The only story I don't like is the Goblin. The Goblin one kind of sucks. Oh, the outside of the house was shaped according to the inside of the houses instead of the hardest housing, but Blizzard has already blown my expectations of what they're going to give us out of the water, so I can live with it. I definitely prefer the whole TARDIS thing over restrictions. It would feel bad, because it would demand, gamers would want, a bajillion different kinds of layouts if that were the case. And they'd want like tons of different kinds of housing. I don't know how many different kinds of houses are available in 14. Like on a given lot, whether it's a large or a small lot, like how many houses are there? Because what people will demand from WoW is, I want to have like at least one kind of house for every race, right? And then they want like neutral housing. I'm a big fan of having external housing that is themed after professions or classes. To me, I think that would be a big plus. How am I losing threats? I don't know, but I'm just not hitting hard enough. So I would look at, if you're looking at logs, Winky, I would just take a look at like my post taunt window. What am I popping? Like, I'm trying to make it so that I have something heavy to push, like a divine guidance sort of thing. But it doesn't, but my sustain is not enough. So it's probably related to the way I stat as well, because I just go for crit. My mastery is not that great. My versatility isn't that big of a deal, but then it's another like, what, I'm gonna say 10% that I could get from versatility. But yeah. Anyway, Fungal Folly. I don't mind the houses fitting in with the area as long as they are going to eventually develop more neighborhoods and other zones down the road. I guess the other problem too, with having to shape your house to match the interior, like I don't know who does that. I think ESO does that. But then you have like pretty much a zone to yourself, and you don't see other people's houses, if I recall that correctly. 14, they do the sort of tortoise thing too. But I think their layouts are a bit more fixed as well. I think. Low Avenger usage though. Avenger Shield? It's because it sucks. I'm always pressing something. So that's not the problem, but Avenger Shield just is a shitty button. I'm much better, at least I feel like I'm much better off hitting my Blessed Hammer or my Judgment. So I can proc... Fuck, I forgot what it's called. So I can proc Hammer and Anvil, because that's like the main damage thing that I deal, which procs the damage itself as well as the lesser weapon and shield. So what macros do I have? I have a repair macro. Okay. Realistically, I macro my my lightsmith talents to my Shield of the Righteous. So I just auto use it. I just use it whenever. So maybe that's a thing too, because I'm popping it whenever. But I also have like pretty good uptime on it all the time anyway. So yeah, it's a little hard to tell if I'm like really like missing out there. But it's something that I do, and maybe that's a vulnerability of mine. You can go visit other people's houses in ESO, and if you give permission to add stuff to other people's houses. But you don't see you only see your house, right? Like it's just your house, you don't see other people's houses in your area, if I recall. Because it's more like an estate. You know, it's a big space that you have for yourself, which is cool. You know, don't get me wrong. Oops. I mean, that's probably it, because like the way that, because I'm so focused on crit, I'm using, I mean, maybe, I don't know if you're doing comparisons, but double check and take a look at how much more I'm hitting Blessed Hammer or Judgment compared to if you're doing comparisons with other paladins. Because that is definitely my intended focus. So it's not like I'm pressing nothing. And I don't think I'm overpressing my consecration either. Hell, sometimes I have like big gaps on that. Will we have a guest book kind of feature? I think no matter what, well, there's, here's a spoiler alert. Housing will launch half cooked in almost everyone's point of view, no matter what. It's never going to be enough because there's like 20 years of WoW to catch up on. And at least, based on the Boston trip that I had, there's no shortage of, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. And even the team acknowledged during those meetings, they were like, there's no shortage of that, guys. There's no shortage of ideas and cool things that we want to have in there. It's just the question of how do we manage the schedule at which we put things out? Because if we waited, well, okay, they didn't say this, but if they had to wait until they had everything people wanted, they'd never come out with housing. So expect that. Expect a certain level of disappointment because, they don't have the certain features that you want. Like I'm a bit frightened that we still haven't seen things like weapon racks. I was surprised that hasn't been a thing yet, because that feels like such a such an important thing to put in. Now, of course, I wonder too, like, what happen, you know, what'll happen when we do put those out? Like, how will they scale? You know, because like someone who might normally play as a Tauren warrior or something like that is going to be used to their Ashbringer looking at a certain size. So when we hang it up, I guess we should be able to resize it the way we want to, right? I think that would be the way to go. But yeah, it's you know, I'm a little scared that that hasn't been part of their playtest yet. Evergreen features not being completely fleshed out at launch is not an issue as long as they commit to adding things for more than a single expansion. No. I have full faith that there's going to be like massive outrage because a certain thing that a lot of people will agree with will be like, dude, that should have been there at launch. What are they thinking? We're going to hear no shortage of that. And people are going to be loud, and it's going to threaten to suck out all the oxygen. Why didn't they put in this thing? I might be one of those people too. It's so dumb. It'd be so easy for them to put in. But yeah. Hard to compare when your kills are much longer. Ah, good point. Good point. Maybe look at the first few minutes then, right? So like for hunters, maybe you look at the first, I'd say like up to the first phase, whenever that is, you know, the first transition, that might give a good indicator. Oh yeah, I gotta keep my eyes on the screen. All right. People always mentions the name of the game. It's going to be loud though. So just got to get ready for it. Who's trying to call? No one in particular. All right, where are my spore bits at? Oh, I hit nobody. Jeez. Come on, spore bits. Or come on, mobs. Come get some. Other paladins use 35 Avenger things and 5-minute kills on Soul Hunter. And 5-minute kills. Got it. Yeah, I just feel as if Judgment crits are more reliable cleave / AoE than Avenger Shield. I mean, Avenger Shield has just been a very disappointing button for the past few expansions, I feel like. It just hasn't been great enough. Which is funny because it's like the main button. Wait, did I do it? Okay, I did it. You know, it's like the top button for our talent tree. But it feels like such a low priority button. Like it, to me, it's not a press on cooldown sort of thing. Oh, okay, that guy. Now, it's great for, like, Phantom Shields. Don't get me wrong. Company said my 200 companion pets aren't walking around my house. Yeah, that's going to be one thing for me. I'm like, dude, I want to have, like, my house to be full of puppies and stuff. Yo, hook me up. So, like what are your guys' biggest wants? that you haven't quite seen yet. You know, for some people, it's like, hey, I want my warband to show up in the house. You know, that's been a very popular ask. My thing has mostly been pets, and target dummy things. You know, I want to be able to see. I want to have paper dolls to decorate. Put them in random transmog or something like that, just to drive people crazy. And then, of course, weapon racks. We still haven't seen that yet. You know, it's one thing to be told, hey, let's talk about the exterior housing finally. And then, you know, people being disappointed by that. But they haven't really said anything of substance with regards to weapon racks, other than like, oh, yep, a lot of people want them. A lot of people want them. Yeah, well, commit to it, dude. Can you commit to XYZ? Or you're a bitch. So, you want to suppose super rare fish? That'd be cool. That'd be really cool to set up an aquarium. I've heard that one a lot too. Mannequin target dummies? Oh, that'd be hella funny. And they and tanking dummies too, so that they actually fight back. That'd be kind of cool. Or target dummies based on your warband. We need AI chatbot thrall in player house and ask him anything. That would be a choice. Oh yeah. I want weapon racks and armor dummies. I want to make a hall of fame of all my cutting edge and then curves I've done over the years. Like, one thing that I really would like, that I think would be very cool, is if they did something like, you can take like these dummies and you can pose them. You know, you can give them like emotes, or, you know, apply emotes to them so they can like, and freeze them in place to, you know, to have a certain pose to them. And then you can make like little dioramas of like your adventures in your Warcraft career. Like make up a diorama of like a boss kill where everyone died except for you, and then you're standing over all these corpses and you're like, ha. I think that'd be neat. They hotfix it? Oh no. Damn, they caught me. Well, I still see it showing up right now. So, is there a post on it? Let's see if Wowhead said anything about it. Oh, what's this? Join our next developer updates. Oh, that's Diablo shit. Fuck you. What a tease. Was this an 11? Okay, just didn't feel like an 11. Mythic nerfs, whatever. Okay. Anything cool? Of course not. Mind fracturing odium. Nope. Oh, hi, Delve person. What do you got? Nope. Okay. Let's see. Oh, did I get a thing? No, I didn't get a Delver's Bounty, did I? Nope. Probably I compare it with you on Forge Weaver 7 Might Fight. He has way more crit than you. 9k crit. Damn. It's a lot of crit. That's really heavy focus. Wait, no. I have more. I got 15. Wait, so what 9K crit are you talking about? Yeah. Yeah, 9K is not a lot. I'm at 15. Oh. Yeah, that was an 11. Oh, he has 9K more. Oh, okay, that's a lot. So so let's see, where did that come from then? So I know there's okay, he probably has a ring that has a lot of crit on it, because I sacrifice a lot by using this one. I like this ring a lot. But I know that there's another ring out there that is heavy on the crit too. And then just probably like other enchants and stuff like that. But mostly the accessories. I'm sure that's where most of it comes from. That, and he probably isn't using Cersei Circlet because he's probably smart. Like, oh, actually, do I have anything? Oh no, it's all in my bank, I think. So I gotta open my bank. Genius. So let's see. I have quite a few. Some of these are old. I get that. Oh, I don't even have old ones anymore. Okay, so I think I got rid of most of the other rings. Well, I probably would have a whole shitload more crit otherwise. All right, anyway, what's next? I'm going to, I'm gonna roll the dice. Have I started to collect belts yet? No, I'm not. My belt is still fine. Like the nerfs to the belt are related to, hey, your procs do 20% less damage, but I don't even use it for damage. I use it for healing, and the healing wasn't affected. And even if it was affected, I'd still use it because, yeah. Yeah, so sucks for you guys who deal damage, because that's not me. Damn, that much crit. So what did he sacrifice? Did he sacrifice haste or mastery or what? Because that seems like that's a pretty hard focus. Aside from having actual rings. So. Because I want to show up the healers, you damn right. My healers are mostly crying. Like there's one healer that like parses decent, but for the most part, like I rob them of so much heals. I'm like Disc Priest back in the day, who like steal heals from other people. Like the fact that I'm contributing so much, like, yeah. If the healer showed, well said, well said. Yeah, having some of the healers showing up only one day out of the two, that's rough. He flipped his haste? No haste? Oh. Like, it's gotta be... I feel like I gotta have, like, pretty high haste to feel like I'm having a good time. Otherwise, I'm doing that. Like, come on, buttons pressed. Hell, when we pull and we don't lust at the start, that already doesn't feel great. I'm like, Grim's gonna pull off me. Watch. So that is totally flipped. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. But I'm sure the other thing is he actually has, he's using, normal gems and stuff too. Not gems, accessories. Four pieces for lightsmith is really, yeah, it is really crit dependent. Like everything happens from that. The more crit you have, the more you proc lesser weapons and lesser bulwarks. And that's kind of how it is for all the tanks. All the tanks, their set bonuses, they add quite a bit of damage somehow, some way. In the case of paladins, like it's I don't know how the other ones work, but they basically get a lot of free damage. For paladins, it's pretty dependent on crit. Like having the higher crit you have, the more everything you do. I don't know if I want to sacrifice haste for it. That's like a big ask. But again, that's why you see me not really pop in Avenger Shield. It feels very deprioritized. Like I'm hitting everything before I hit. I mean, that's how it's been, actually. Ever since Dragonflight. Avenger Shield has been like the last button I typically press. Because I'd rather be generating holy power, because I get more building than spending. Especially because of Lightsmith, you rely on divine guidance. Now, as for the hammer spec, I don't know. I don't know what they do. But hammer spec is dumb anyway. No one likes it. Just kidding. Alright, what am I doing? I'm just kind of like spinning wheels here. I need to just collect stuff, right? So dungeon tuning class, nope, no news from Blizzard. And I need these parts. Yeah, this delve is long. It kind of sucks. Shield of Righteousness is weak right now. Yeah, but it's also a divine guidance builder, so we're still using it. Just spinning wheels. I mean, it's a big twist compared to like a month and some ago, where it's like, oh my god, we've got all these overlapping events. We're being split in like 7 different directions. So, feast or famine. Feast or famine. For me, though, I know a lot of my time has been taken up with like checking out and testing remix-related stuff. So, it's been busy. Even when I was like sick and trying to rest and all that, there's still like a lot to like do and check out and stuff. So for me, like ever since I guess Gamescom, it's been kind of a non-stop sort of like coverage, keeping an eye out for stuff. Even when there isn't a whole lot happening, like this week is, for WoW activities, and what's happening this week, pretty quiet. Single tar, yeah, it's pretty wimpy. But at the same time, it's like, you're going to press it. You can't just not, you can't not press the button. And because Word of Glory always costs mana, you can't just replace it with Word of Glory instead. Especially because WoG is, not just because it uses mana, but because it's on the global. So I do recall seeing some creators complaining about prop paladin survivability, though. It's not something that I see at my level. For me, it's more like, no, it's not really anything. Like, my DPS issues are self-inflicted, so I really don't have much to complain about. I just gotta get good. You refuse to do it, stay at max HP? Now, for me, it just doesn't feel good to spend the global. That doesn't feel right. Now, I wonder if it's just like... Here, let me see if I can just experiment with this now. So was that... That was a normal thing. Yeah, so that gave me 2 procs. And I'll self-heal again for... So I got 1 from that. And that's 2. Why do I get 2 sometimes? Is it just random? Is there a thing that I'm missing here? One heal. 1 stack. Okay. 1 stack. Okay. 1 stack again. Is it from a shining? No, not a shining light proc, because I'm not doing that. 1 stack. One stack. Okay, now I'm just getting 1s. Come on. One. Is it applying to like a certain buff? I don't think doing a 5 stack is something you really pay attention to. I do, or I have to, because so here's the difference, Oiki. If I'm just doing 1 stackers, that's fine as long as I'm not wasting, as long as I'm at least spending, right? And I'm not like going past 5 stacks. That would be like the worst thing to do. But what I need to do is basically time it in such a way that I can do a 5 stack during the taunt window. That way I can get as much threat as I can during that taunt window, so I can stay ahead. If I don't, and it's just like a soft little thing, then I risk losing threat. So otherwise, it's not something I pay attention to, but I have to. You know, like I said, self-inflicted, self-inflicted gameplay. Especially if it crits. Oh, that helps a lot. I still need to figure out why sometimes I get 2 stacks when doing a self heal, or when I use my heal. Still not sure. Okay, so that time I was not. Hit your own head with a hammer? Yeah. All so I can play the way I want to. To me, it's more interesting than like just trying to pump and do damage, though. I mean, there's an enjoyment from that. You know, I'm not trying to talk down on it. It's just doesn't really appeal to me. Almost any time I try to do damage, I just start falling asleep. Except during MOP, when Vengeance was a thing. That felt fun. I actually use that button too. This button helps a lot. Because it does damage. Hey, look at that. So now where's that one button? Or where are those orb things that give me like free ammo for my Rishu rep thing? I thought it was a thing. Maybe not. Maybe the Chewbacca has a global to it. I don't know, man. So that gave me a twofer. Is it because I have armaments going? Maybe it's while I have armaments going. So that gave me a 2. All right, let's try this again. So turn off. Okay, I'll wait for Bulwark to just go away. All right. So self-heal 1. 1. 1. Maybe it is during Bulwark. Oh, that's a pain to track then, because I'll proc Bulwark randomly too. Shoot. One. Okay, so I'll try. Okay, with Sacred Weapon going. One. Nope. 1. Nope. 1 again. Maybe I'll try during wings. I think Sacred Weapon copies your HP usage, thus the extra stack. It could be that too, yeah. But it didn't proc just now. So with wings, I do have this. Okay, it's during wings. Sometimes during wings. Yeah, sometimes during wings it'll happen. Okay. So I think we've solved that mystery. You don't have the luxury of holding back on remix, which is a weird statement because I /played 4 days testing now. Wait, what do you mean by the luxury of holding back? Weird statement because sort of /played 4 days testing it. Oh, but yeah, holding back on what? You mean the feedback or whatnot? Oh, investing the time on the PTR. I mean, I did it because I was having fun. I did enjoy my time on the remix, exploring and checking stuff out. Because otherwise, like, I haven't played through Legion ever since. Like, I don't level new characters. So for me, Chromie time, it's not a thing. I don't know what Chromie time is really like because I've never done it. Not once. I've always just finished characters or just leveled the same characters for the most part. Or I use other ways of leveling them up, like time walking, turbulent time waves, stuff like that. Like I don't use Chromie time. It's not one of those tools that really interest me. Because I'm like, I don't want to think, I don't want to travel. I just want to like queue up for the next thing and like finish up, super fast. Okay, so I just got to keep an eye on when I pop wing. So just focus on the pull. Focus on the pull, and then, during those pop moments, Yeah, I think I'm better off just having a weak card to like track it though. It's just like a big number like right here in the middle that just screams 5 stacks. Ah, spend. It's not like I was having a good time. It was all about just next and holding back so I don't just burn out. You know what was funny is that during the mob remix, I stopped hella fast because I was like, okay, I'm having too much fun exploring these things and blah blah blah. I'm gonna stop. In this case, though, I kept going. I'm like, I can hold off on the other farms on live servers. That can wait till later. I'm too busy right now as it is. Oh, I'm not going the right way, am I? Gotta go this way because there's the way gate right there. Cool. More that warlock that you came in with to help me out. Was that a pre-made or was that the one that you were working on the whole time? Now what am I doing? I'm doing the dampeners and other stuff. All right. And here's a thingy gates. So the shield of the righteous, is that being replicated? Doesn't seem like it actually. 3, 4. Yeah, I'm only getting 1 at a time anyway. I guess I shouldn't really pay. I guess it's going to be too hard to pay attention to getting those double stacks. My beta tailoring guide is still the most. Is it really? It's so old, man. I mean, I do see comments for the profession videos every now and then, and most of them are like trash talking. It's like, oh god, professions are so lame. Why don't they just go back to like how it was before? I'm like, yeah. That's wild. And I know the information isn't even complete. Like in hindsight, like I didn't really talk about profession tools. You know, like, oh, you get that from leveling up your cloak or whatever it is. And that's how you get the profession tools. Well, I don't think I mentioned that. You use an on-use trinket that bowls 5 people is 24 million each use and has haste. I'm not fond of the of lining it up though. Like that, it's a thinking man's trinket, Oinky. I can't do that. I need passive shit. I mean, it would help in some of those cases, or like, I know there's like big incoming damage, but I know, like there was a similar trinket in Undermine, and I could not for the life of me use it properly, but it was mostly because I was still using Swarmlord, and having 2 unused trinkets is just not great. That just didn't work out. So, oh well. Just steal the trinket. But it's like what, a minute 30 trinket, something like that. Yeah, I would need to really get on top of like incoming raid damage if I want to make the best use out of it. And the mana sprite is, I don't know, it's too good. I feel like some of the biggest benefit of the mana sprite is how it applies that short-term bubble. So to me, it's like really good damage smoothing. not like a burst thing. I know burst is important too, but honestly, that's what other healers are for. Guys are good to stretch for gold for the said professions were outdated the first. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were, a lot of them were usurped like right at the start. It's like, oh, like I remember at one point early on during the early access, um, like the blue, like the blue shards from disenchanting, like they were going for super cheap. I'm like, so I bought a ton of those, and I flipped those for massive gold because of how people were starving for it later on. Yeah, because there was no shattering at the time. But then I think it was like a week or two later when shattering did come in, then the prices dipped, but I already came out with like hella gold. Yeah, so you're using the bulb drink? Yeah, but you're not a tank, so. Yeah, before the shatter though, it was like huge because I remember what I did. Like I picked up hella cloth because cloth was stupid cheap. It was going for like silver for a while. Um, and then that market recovered. But before that point, I bought like a whole crap ton of cloth, made bracers, disenchanted that, extracted blue shards out of it, and made out like a bandit. Yeah, that was good. Dark Moon Fair trinkets, those were really good too because during the preseason before epic the epic disenchanting mats were a thing, you just made Dark Moon cards or decks and you disenchanted those. and they were going for, I think you were able to make a deck for like I think it was like 100 gold, and then you would sell the shards for like up to 1,000 depending on the rank that you get out of it. It was wild. But that's kind of like the regular thing with just being aggressive on the market and being present. You can buy it. Oh yeah, disenchanting is just easy to level. I'm talking about the gold making aspect of it though. It was just cake. They screw the cloth market. I mean, how do you fix that though? Or actually, I wasn't quite sure what to do about that. I remember at first, people were flipping out saying, "Oh my god, the cloth market is going to be like so fucked because only tailors can gather cloth. There's going to be such a shortage." That didn't turn out to be the case. Not one bit. Oh, a dead person. Olivia Alice. Salute. I'm taking way too long. I've been in this delve for like forever, feels like. Where's the other orbs? Orbs. Oops. It slows me down. That's funny. I remember early on, this thing would damage you. Does not seem to be the case here. Majority of it is just bots, like all the raw mats. Oh yeah. And unlike the gathering bots, the cloth farming bots just, that's easier to do because you just find a hyperspawn and then work it. Kind of basically like skinning. Yeah. So I don't know what to do about cloth when it comes down to that. Need to go full China mode on botting in this bitch. I think I wonder how privacy would work in that case, or how privacy laws would work. Revealing like even like the battle tag names of people who had bought it or cheated or whatever. I mean, I'm not quite sure what to do about hyperspawns either, because otherwise, we've seen the other side of it too. People get pretty upset if you're trying to farm stuff and there's too many people in the area and things just aren't spawning fast enough. I think the most egregious forms, though, of the hyperspawn farming would be the ones where it's like this weird trick. I don't know how it works exactly, but they use a combination of chromie time and party sync to find places that are basically empty, and then farm away with no one really bothering them. I don't know if that's still a thing. Like, that's the way to do it. Come on, Delver's Bounty, please. No. Think I'm boned. Don't forget this one. Flickering Spoils is like hella easy to miss. Okay, so where am I going now? I'm going to, I think, Ringing Deeps. Yeah, Ringing Deeps, and okay, what spots? Down to Size. I don't remember that one. Down to Size. Well, let's go there. Let's go there. They still hyperspawn, but they don't drop stuff anymore after 2 minutes? For like everybody, or just like the people who are there? I shouldn't really have to pitch that kind of solution, but the problem is getting worse at a wild rate and kind of untenable. I mean, how do you fight it? Knowing that there are people there who don't secure their accounts, and they easily let their accounts get stolen and snatched up by botters. So because that's where most bot accounts come from, right? They're just people who had old WoW accounts, and they prop them up. Okay, I'm going to Ajkahet next. Oh, that's your suggestion. That they don't drop anymore after 2 minutes. Okay. I thought that's a thing now. Oh, that's a thing that's going on. Okay. Got it. I mean, is that a good or a bad thing, though? It sounds bad. I want to say it's bad, but how else do you combat? How else do you otherwise combat, long-term hyperspawn farming and overwhelming the economy with too many materials? Because I don't know. I have no good ideas to share. Because, well, that's definitely a botting thing, like Goose is suggesting. Normal people do that too. Like, yo, let's make a 2x4 group and hyperspawn farm. Let's go. Because it's a good idea. How do you make that not a good idea? Or how do you disrupt the practice? It's a bad thing because things are not dropping anymore and transmog is much more rare. I'm not quite sure how that... I'm not quite sure why that's a bad thing, though. Personally. I mean, I guess I'd be able to argue, well, Soul, things are more rare, which means things are going to cost more gold, which means people are going to buy WoW tokens or something like that. I think that's the safest argument that I can think of. But I also think to myself, well, that one person who did get that thing, they're going to be fucking rich. So it's kind of a two-way street there. Because you can't farm transmog anymore. And by that, you mostly mean like the world drops, right? You know, those really rare world drops that's otherwise just, you know, you don't see being farmed very much. I mean, maybe they should come at this from a different direction and make those super rare, those old world drop spawns. Do something about those. Make them into craftable things. Put them on a vendor somewhere. You know, and otherwise kill that practice going for, you know, not have the practice going forward and go back and nerf those world drops. Maybe that's the way to go. Like I said, I have no good ideas. So if anyone has any counter argument, I'm just gonna roll over and be like, oh, okay. So I forgot to pick up the web bomb. Ha 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 ha. Classic Delve gameplay. Forget to click on the first thing. Oh, this one. Oh, this one sucks. Yeah, I remember I didn't like this one very much. Because I'm like, I don't care about this whole ballista stuff. Just let me do stuff. Not just world drops, anything. If you farm any mods for more than 2 minutes, nothing drops. Oh, interesting. So it's not just a hyperspawn thing. If I wanted Desire Green BOE, I know where it drops and who drops it, so I go in and farm for a few hours and I can drop. Now, if it doesn't drop every 2 minutes, you have to wait. How long? So like 0 things drop, no gold, no trash, no nothing. That's like the signal to you knowing that things have been nerfed. Because there are 2 ways of stopping botting. One is to find the bots and kill them, right? Or okay, not 2 ways. There are lots of ways to combat botting, and part of it is to disincentivize the practices that are most advantageous for bots, such as hyperspawn farming. Kind of sucks because it hurts normal people in the meantime. But otherwise, what do? You know, it's a bug since 11.1. Is it a bug? Is it really a bug, or is it just something that they don't really want to talk about? But it's, you know, one of their ways of combating, pushing back against bots. You know, it's kind of like how the WoW token is meant to disincentivize real money transactions. It hasn't gone away, but it's definitely like done its damage. Why can't I get Raid Finder Transmog if I complete heroic sets? Is that similar? The appearances are based on the difficulty that you complete. So if you do Raid Finder, you get veteran gear. Veteran gear, which you can upgrade to unlock both the veteran and the champion piece as soon as you rank it up to 5 out of 8. Pretty bad way to combat bugs when most people are affected by it. Most people don't farm for transmog like that, that's for sure. Yeah, most people don't look for world drops. So I don't know about, I mean, the people who farm for world drops, obviously they're affected punitively, right? But like I said, I think that's, I think what they can and maybe should do is take these rare world drops and just rip them out, just gone, and make them into craftables or put them on a vendor or something like that. That'll get them. So basically I'm saying kill the market. Mm-hmm. You know, and they'd be able, or move those world drops into dungeons. That way, now it's being managed by the instance lockup. I don't know. Acknowledge my simping. Is that what the 47 was? Sorry, dude. Is my I didn't even hear it play, dude. That's my bad, man. What you been up to, by the way? Since you abandoned us. And now we're left permanently healer starved for this season. It did fire up, okay. See, that's what happens when I can't hear past my own damn voice. So that's why. It's because you're not healing. So it's hard to notice your... No, I'm just kidding. What do you guys think of that idea, though? Like, a lot of folks have talked about, like, hey, man, we should be able to unlock... you know, if we get the Mythic Transmog, we should be able to get all the other appearances below it. What do you guys think of that? Is that just objectively good, or does that objectively tell people you need to be good at the game if you want to get all the appearances? Because that was my initial thought. It was, oh, okay, well, I guess fuck all the bad players then. Ouch. But then that's kind of like who you hear it from. People who are capable of doing like mythic raids and all that stuff. You know, screw those people. They could just wait for a few years or something. If I get a hero into your base, just unlock everything underneath it. Yeah, I don't know how that would end up landing, honestly. Because remember, folks like you and I who are talking, for the most part, we're better at the game than a lot of other people. But what would those other people think? But I guess the first response to that would be like, who cares what the other people think? Fuck them. They can stay down there. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't care because it's easy. Like, these days between veteran gear, but between the way we can get gear these days and the catalyst, it's trivial. You can definitely get everything easily. I think it should be the case for legacy dungeons, not current content necessarily. That might not be a bad idea. Luna, hey, what's up? And salute to and Miro from Exodar. Sad song. I think the strands that drop from that one boss should be taken as a system and applied to that kind of mog, i.e. if you clear heroic, all difficulties under that drop from a personal loot token for tier mog. I thought the thread's only a... No, that's... No, we don't have that yet. Shoot, what is it called? Not that one. Not that one. One of these things... Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Here you go. So I think this applies. I think this ethereal essence silver. I think this applies to I forget. Weapons, I think. Yeah, I think weapons, not appearances. Just like Panatex, while I'm back to my room watching your stream to get mind off things. Right on, dude. Yeah, here we're arguing over like who deserves to get tier faster than others. I think you lose the sense of achievement from collecting organically if it's just handed to you, though. I know, but like some people are like, yo, man, we should, if we're good at the game, we should get stuff faster than other people. To me, that's the message that's being sent, and you know, if people are cool with that, cool, then all right. To me, it doesn't. To me, it makes a little bit less sense to send the message that if you are not just play more, but if you're just better at the game than other people, then you get more things, or you get things faster because you're better. You know, there's a difference between, oh, I put in more time into the game, so I get things, versus I'm better than you, and so I get things faster. Is there a sense of achievement for farming easier content? That depends entirely on the individual. 100%. We cannot answer that for other people. For me, yeah, because it's like, oh, I don't have it, now I have it, so fuck yeah. I feel achieved. Like, to me, it's not a sense of... To me, Transbot Collection, aside from things like the Mage Tower, there is no sense of achievement, ever. It's just a question of, when did I get the appearance? Did I get it when it was current, or did I get it later? When did I get lucky? That's the question. That's it. Nothing to do with being good or not. More to the point, should a hero-geared person be taking shit for mog from someone in Raid Finder? To that, I say no. You know, if someone in Raid, if some mythic person in Raid Finder goes in there and needs on stuff because they want the transmog, it's because they need it. The reason why they need it is different. And it is kind of, but it is kind of weird because it's like there is a transmog role option, but it does let people need for it. I think that's a flaw. And I think, hell, Raid Finder itself, the loot system is a flaw. I think it should just go to personal loot and that's it. That solves everything. Never mind the whole, hey, I should unlock appearances from higher difficulties or whatever. Just make Raid Finder nothing but personal loot. That's it. No one uses the mog option? I do. I do because I'm a idiot and a softie. If there's something I really want though, I'm gonna need on it. But if it's like for tier, I'm not going to do that. Because it's like, okay, I can use the catalyst for that, for sure. I can't use the catalyst on weapons, though. So, you know, big difference there. Then you run into people that keep items they don't need because of item mode that they can't trade and we're doomed. I'm just talking about Raid Finder. Like, I remember I was pretty loud about it. I'm like, why are they taking personal loot away from Raid Finder? That seems like the best place to have it. Or the best place to, like, keep it. Oh, I think we're supposed to use some multiplier to, like, kill these guys faster, right? Like, I gotta use the web thing. Can I even use it when I'm already in combat with him? Shit. Let's find out. Oh, I don't think I can, because... Can I even get into this thing? Okay. Now, shoot. Okay, so... I'm supposed to use these before I get into combat with them. Nice. Me and Swan's go to Raid Finder, get loot, and die after win. DE after you win, then DE after you win. Yeah, to me, there is no problem with needing stuff on it, because if I wanted to, I could lie and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to get on an alt. I'm going to get onto an alt, and then I'm going to need on everything because I actually need everything, and fuck everyone else. So the people who get on their mains and they roll need on stuff, they're just not lying about it. They're just being very upfront about it. Be like, nah, I'm taking this. I'm taking your loot, whatever. Otherwise, it's like, hey, I'm either gonna keep it, or, you know, need on it from my main, or I'm gonna get onto some shitty alt that I'm not really going to use because I'm just using this character to collect transmog, and that's it. You know, same difference. I'm still stealing your loot. So why bother pretending? I'd rather give up Mog and let people get gear they actually need. Still think the game would go on an entirely individual loot system where no one knows what you received and everyone has the same opportunity to get an item, not based on everyone else. Dungeons and raids are supposed to be about cooperative play, yet they reward in a way. I mean, it would be taking away the transparency on who gets what. It really, that leans really hard. My opinion here, I have a feeling that they don't do that because that leans way too hard into making Raid Finder feel like a fully single player experience. I mean, a lot of people already do that, but by separating that too, that creates this very, very an even more anti-social experience. Like, you're not even looking at these things as people anymore. Even though it might do a bad job of it, it just stops trying, and I don't think that's okay. So I think that's a line that they don't want to cross. I could just go to the end. Let's go. Oh, these guys have a bajillion health, though. Oh, well. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's more honest than people reading on stuff and selling it, MO. Yeah, that I find to be pretty distasteful. Like, I'd say, like I'm trying to theorize here. If you need on something and you win it, you're telling the game you need it, and so you shouldn't be able to trade it to other people. Even with, like, the whole, you know, the trading window and stuff, that shouldn't even apply anymore. If you need on it, you need it because you're going to use it. If you agreed on it, though, that's different. If you agreed on it and you happen to win it, then yeah, you should be able to trade it or sell it if you really want to, because other people want it the same, as much as you do, whatever. Thing is, of course, in Raid Finder, hardly anyone's going to greed roll for it. So maybe those rules should just be more strict too. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't think they want to cross that line anyway. Even though people treat it like that, I think they don't want the game to also like just give up and treat it like that too. Not that I do know Raid Finder appearances, but I don't see it as stealing. You invest the time, you're eligible for stuff. Simple as that. No matter. No, I mostly agree with that. Like I said, you're there for a reason, and there's no sense, making a character purely for the sake of transmog farming. You might as well just do it on your main. And some people, who are really like militant about it, they're going to get on multiple characters who they won't even really use. They're just using them just for transmog farming. We can't stop that practice. When guildies get upset about pugs in our raids getting loot, I have to remind them that the pugs, if they didn't join us, we wouldn't have beat the encounter and no one had gotten loot anyway. Yeah, that's why the rule is don't pug. If we have to pug, guess we gotta cancel the raid. Thankfully, I haven't had to do that. We haven't been that desperate. I think the other week we were like really low on healers though, and we needed one of our guys to switch for the day or for the night, which sucks. But I definitely would rather do that than bring a pug in. Did they change something with restored coffer keys? It's so hard to get them. Sort of saw face. So they made it so that the legacy, like legacy content, stuff on Kazalgar and Undermine, they give you coffer key shards, so you get half a key basically instead of a full key. Now on the flip side, you still have just a lot more keys that you can potentially get. So I forgot to use a Delver's bounty thingamajigger. Fuck me. Damn it. You suck, buddy. And I'm out of keys. Okay, so never got a Delver's bounty. Do I have was it Shrieking? I forgot the name of the thing. Shrieking something or other. Shrieking Quartz. There we go. All right, I'll do one more goddamn delve. So I think I'm going to Ringing Deeps. Yeah, those give the full key. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. The Pinnacle chest in Dornigal. That also gives a full key. So like this week we get a World Soul thing. You choose your activity. That also gives a full key. Found 100 charms in my bags. Nice. Yeah. Dang it. All right. That way. World Souls just for keys. I've done 2 for the whole expansion. That's cool. I mean, do whatever you want to do for keys, but we're just laying out all the options for you. Or for the person who asked, that is. Yeah, to me, it depends on what the world soul thing is. Like, sometimes it was like, do delves, or do one delve. I'm like, oh, well, this is easy. This is a no-brainer for me. Yeah, I'm talking about the world soul quest, not the things where you use the radiant, whatever it is. Radiant echoes. So, yeah, not that thing. It's not a bad use when you're desperate, but too bad they're not too bad those aren't at least account tradable. That would be helpful, because at least, you know, the person, at least, you know, the player is still doing the work. Hungarian presence, but no spore bits. Sad song. So this is like hard mode Fungal Folly. I actually have to kill the mobs. No. Devil's Bounty Dropper has been nerfed since last week. As someone who's run over 1,000 tells, I've gotten them on first 2 runs like 95% of the time. I think this is the first time I haven't this season. Yeah, so I think it's maybe you're right. Doesn't feel like a huge nerf though, or nothing that I've nothing I've noticed substantially. I just got to remember to actually get the Delver's Bounty and to use it. I think I forgot that the other week too. Like, oh, whoops. Y'all think it got nerfed? That anecdotal evidence is pretty strong. Yeah, I have not done 1,000 delves, but my success rate at getting either a Delver's Bounty directly or a Shrieking Corpse thing has been pretty good. Yeah. The one add-on for openables and bags hasn't been updated for Season 3, so I miss mine all the time. Oh yeah. I don't think I have that. I'll have to double check if that add-on is working right. I haven't really paid attention. I thought it did work, but... Usually I get it in the first 2 delves I did, but this week I haven't gotten it at all in the first 2 dungeons in any of my 5 tunes. Use quartzes instead and pressed. I mean, it's a good backup, you know. Hopefully they pop up, or hopefully they appear, and even if they don't appear, then, you know, just use some undercoin, buy some stuff, good to go. Yeah, because doing delves across 5 tunes, that's a decent amount of undercoin you build up that you'll otherwise spend on what? Cheap ass delve reagents that aren't really worth selling. I'm actually hoarding all of them just in case. You know, in case it's going to be used for like housing stuff now or later, you know, soon or later on. And then people will be like, oh shit, you know, and people can do delves, but they don't get it at like the same, you know, they're not going to be slamming delves the way they used to. So I'm going to hold them. I was spending some time last night reorganizing some of my classic reagents and funneling them all into one character, just dumping them all in their bank in the hopes that maybe it'll be worth something. I got onto my other account and extracted about 300,000 different kinds of ink. It's a lot of ink that I have. And we'll see if those end up being used for dyes. But I think I also want to like save up some herbs, some herbs as well, to see if they'll be used to make dye for housing stuff. Some people may want Yeah, there might be colors that are desired that that demand a certain kind of herb. We don't know what they're going to be yet, so it might be worth holding on to those. But we also aren't 100% sure how dyes are going to be managed. Is it going to be alchemy? Is it going to be inscription, which I think makes more sense, but it could go either way. So I think holding on to a whole shitload of herbs might not be a bad idea. And then once we learn more, then we can pick those, and then we can start processing those and then selling them in case they go for a decent price. But yeah, that's like the most that I'm doing for prep. I'm not hard farming stuff either. I'm not gonna go out there and like herb. but if I see some really cheap stuff on the auction house, I'll pick up like a stack of this or that. You know, if I can find something that's like, oh, this is worth like, 30 or 40 silver right now, but it might be worth like 5 gold later. That's a really big, I'm coming out. It's not huge numbers, but it's not bad. And pretty cheap investment with low risk. If I lose a couple grand, I ain't gonna sweat. But I ain't gonna reset no markets, that's for sure. That's a bit too speculative at the moment. Anyway, spend that undercoin, I guess. But spending it on delve resources, it may or may not be a good play. I mean, you'll eventually want to spend it on something. You'll want to dump it. But I'd say, like, don't farm for it. Housing that is using scribe inks and an alk stabilizer will be a good way to double dip. I hope so, because I have a lot of ink that's ready to be processed. And I'd hate for it to be used for nothing. I mean, that's ink that I made like years and years ago, so it's not like I'm missing out on anything, but it would be nice to actually use it on something. Alright, so I am pressure valves, what I need. And let's drink too. Buying the 1K of every ore. I say if it's cheap, go for it. Yeah. Ooh, a spore bit. Ooh. Yay. There's like so few of these though. Sheesh. Can her massacre thing even hurt me? Let's see. Come on, massacre. No, don't die yet. Hit me. Ugh. Ugh. Nope, don't hurt. Okay. Shucks. I'm pretty sure it's been a couple weeks since I've tried doing Kaiveza. It was really only during like the first week or so where I was like doing attempts. Well, actually no, I think I jumped in like the other day or the other week. I'm pretty sure that she still one-shots like everything. I won't be able to actually like just like tank her, I'm sure. Is it worth leveling professions from the old expansion? That depends. It depends on if you really want to try and work the housing angle and see if you can make some gold out of it by being one of those people who can supply goods. But there's still so little we know about it, it's hard to say. From the feel of it though, it seems like a confident, it seems like we should be confident that all legacy professions will be able to make something for housing. So at the very least, you want to like you're saying, like level them up. I don't know though how worth it it's going to be, because a lot of folks, you know, you're not the only one who's going to be doing it. I'm kind of taking a risk because I'm not really going to pay too much attention to it. I'm just going to focus on like my favorite professions, blacksmith and engineering, and then I'll make whatever. But some people, they're trying to be very, very enterprising and try to have like one of every profession and have them all maxed out, yada yada yada, so they can make like all the things. But we'll have to see. I'm going the wrong way, I think, right? Yeah. Like, it'll be very cool if the hundreds of thousands of Ceravite bolts will be used. There's also a very high probability of almost every profession has market being hyper. Oh, absolutely. Like, what I predict is, you know, people are you know, when housing comes out, the legacy economy is going to be you know, not fully unleashed, but it's going to be unleashed upon the world. All of these different herbs and ores and stuff that, you know, they sell, but not really, including like old raid materials and other obscure items that we don't really think about much, that are going for like stupid cheap. They're going to end up being needed for like a bunch of things, maybe. A lot of those things are going to suddenly just like appear on the market as useful things to sell. But at the same time, I'm pretty damn confident that housing itself is going to require new items as well. So you're going to have like this old economy, this 20-year-old economy, 20 years worth of stuff that has been left kind of unused, versus on top of this new economy, new items that people haven't collected yet. So there's going to be like people who are going to need like, who really, really want the new stuff, but there's so much of the old stuff that it's going to go for like super, super cheap, really, really fast, because everyone's going to be trying to get rid of it, and people are going to undercut, and they're going to undercut themselves to oblivion. So kind of sucks. It's like the housing, it's as if the housing market is being introduced. Okay, there's no real good way for me to phrase it. But it's like a new market is being introduced and everyone already has everything available already. Like, how's that going to work out? I still got to do the main guy now. So, oh, there's the thing. So I got to do thing and the quartz. And here comes the thumper. Okay, let's see if this version of Kaibeza. Let's see how the massacre hurts this time. Will I get one shot? Let's see. Oh, yeah. First hit wasn't so bad. But it expended like all my bubbles. So, yeah. Oh, oh. Okay. I thought I was like gonna fight her still. Okay, use the Delver's Bounty. And let's go. Yeah, the map. Old economy big market shifts will happen soon as alpha is available and first actual furniture crafting ingredients are known. People buy out cheap stuff immediately to hoard. Oh, absolutely. And I think that's like the best that might be the best time to actually sell those items, because when housing officially starts, I think the prices are going to tank really fast. You know, I'm confident that there's a whole bunch of items that, you know, legacy items that aren't being posted because people just stop giving a shit. But we basically still have a lot of stuff. They're gonna start caring to sell them when they start caring to sell them. Maybe they'll create some reusable property for your house that keeps those markets going, say having to repaint your house or walls. Well, well, that's why I think ink, dyes are going to be like the one repeatable thing. I think that's going to be the safest market for housing. So things like herbs and whatnot, and otherwise, whatever it is that you do to make things, to make dye. But if Blizzard's smart, they're going to rely on a new economy item as well. They're not going to just rely on like the old stuff. And if anything, like they should, maybe they should make it cost like a whole crap ton of old materials as well, just so it can deplete the market. In the end, though, dyes are going to be the thing. People will go back and make dyes as, you know, as much as they need to. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, let's say you have a house and you have everything you want, but you want to change the color, right? Then you might tap back into those dyes, because if you want to change a certain thing from one color to the next, you will spend a dye. That's the one consumable thing in housing. No, we're not going to see expiration dates on stuff. No way. That's that'd be tantamount to like, oh, if you're not logged in, your house will disintegrate. Pretty much. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm very confident of that. That would be that'd be a bad move. Bad move. Hey, oh dude, look at that. I got a hero version of Ether Gods. Okay, well, fuck yeah. Nice. This is cool. It's exactly what I wanted. Lucky me. Lucky me. And that's it, right? So I'm at 30 something. Yeah, 30 something or other for that. I'm gonna upgrade my Ether Gauze. Cool. Are dyes definitely a thing? Yes. Now the current word on dyes is that they are a consumable thing. So as you dye a piece of, when you dye a piece of furniture, like let's say you have 4 chairs, okay? You have 4 chairs, and they're all the same color. It's like the base color. If you want to take all 4 of those chairs and dye them red, I'm being very simplistic here, but if you dye all of them red, okay, cool. Now you have 4 red chairs. But now let's say you want to change those chairs to like blue. If you change them to blue, then you spend more dye to change them into blue. And if you want to change them back to red, then you need to spend more dye to make them red. Now, on the flip side, you could just buy 4 more chairs and then dye those 4 new chairs to blue. So that way you have 4 red chairs and 4 blue chairs. So that's the kind of aim that they're looking for at the moment. Planned obsolescence is how markets work in the real world for keeping markets going. That is true, but this is not the real world. This is the world of Warcraft. And that's just not a good. If they wanted to have a way to have continuous market activity for housing, it's a very easy approach to go about it, and it's simply to have dyes and also to keep introducing new furniture. That's it. It's very easy. So it's like, so think of it like this. I don't have screenshots handy, but I think I saw like several dozen colors, or there are several dozen different dyes, and each piece of furniture has three different things. I'm just making up a number because I think I noticed three different color channels. So 3 different color channels multiplied by however many dyes there are makes for a lot of combinations, a lot of possible combinations for chairs. So if you want to take like the one chair and be like, I want to have 4 of every single color combination, then that's a lot of math. And I'm not a math guy, but that's a lot of stuff. So how do you have all those chairs? You need to build a lot of chairs. So that's what's going to help people have more chairs, because they want to have like every color permutation for whatever the fuck reason. So that's where you would get like the mass, you know, a greater consumption of resources to create housing, because people want to have like their red and blue chairs and orange and gray and whatever the fuck color is in between all that. So yeah. Yeah, there doesn't need to be an expiration date on a chair or like a Best Buy thing. That'd be the worst. They would get so much shit for that, and I'd be leading the charge. I'm like, this is dumb. Okay, so trinkets. So what's my current one? Current one is 704, so I should be able to take it. Oh, do I really want to take it to 4 now? Yeah, well, of course, because it's only going to cost me Valor Stones, you dumbass. Yeah. So where else do I want to go? So I think I'll take this up to. Well, actually, I think I'll take this up because that's bad. Yeah, that's the lower thing. And I just need a little bit more room to stuff. Import export thing expanding furniture would be a great idea if we could actually pack up the export into an in-game item. I wonder how that would work. I think it'd be, I mean, that's one way to do it. Personally, I would be fine with like a big code or something like that. You know, just copy paste stuff. Because that'll let us that'll let us like share, more easily share housing layouts with other people. And I think that's part of the fun. But, well, it would kind of make the whole sharing trivial, right? Because like, okay, that person's not even going to do anything. They're just going to, you know, grab someone else's template, put it down. But then, I mean, if people want to do that, I think they should be able to. And then from there, if they want to make like little tweaks on their own, cool. I don't think that'd be a bad way to go at all. Okay, so I think I just need to do this week's raids and stuff to get. Yeah, so I need to get another 46 ruined, so I can bring that up one, and then I'm kind of all out of stuff. And then someday I'll replace my boots and wrists. And yeah. So I think I'm good with this. Yay! Apply the dye to an item, then place the item on the auction house to sell. That'd be cool. What would be cool is if they make the dyes applicable to our transmog. Someday, dude. I have a feeling that they need to do a whole different thing to make that work. Because think of it like this: like it's one thing to be like, hey, let's dye, let's dye this this fence thing a different color. Like, okay, that's easy. They just changed the channel here, the channel there, and wherever. But then, how would that apply to armor, which is more animated and it stretches and stuff? Like, they'd have to, they would, from the feel of it, they would need to just redo how armor art is made going forward, at least. Yeah, so we might see new kinds of armor that are dyeable. I don't know if we're ever going to see them do like legacy stuff though, because that's a lot of work. Or that's just a lot to do. Selling pre-made rooms fully furnished would be super cool. That'd be a hard pipe dream though. Would it be though? Because in the layouts, let me go into that one visitor site thing. It's like one of the coolest things they've done, by the way. This thing is so neat. Being able to navigate through this thing. I like this a lot. So anyway, there's this layout mode that looks a little bit like this. And what you're able to do is at certain segments, like for example, like here, this T shape here, you can hit a button here at the end and it'll just say add room. And then you'll see like this little UI thing that pops up and it shows, okay, here are the kind of options that you can add to this room that will fit with this particular section. And what I think would be very cool is if there was like some button somewhere, like if you were to like choose a certain shape and then you could just import a room that you had saved and then it'll just plop it down, because like having something like that would be very, very useful because it would let you effectively move entire rooms. So like, let's say you have like this layout, but you're like, you know what? Having this here, I don't want this here because I have like these other plans and all that. So I want to just take this room, save it, put it in my pocket, or otherwise just take this whole room and then move it here. I want to go upstairs and I want to put this T-shaped thing here on the second floor. I think that should be a thing because it would make sense, as opposed to, feeling really bad that you want to move this room up here and it's gonna feel really shitty because you gotta reconstruct everything all over again. Like, that would kind of suck. So I feel like if they did dyeable armor, it would negate all the different palette swaps for tiers, which they wouldn't do. Who said it had to be for tier? It could be for other sets, for all we know. Like one of the pluses and minuses of like Final Fantasy XIV's dyeable stuff is that there's less transmog that they have. Pound for pound, they just have less quantity, but of course they have the palette options and all that stuff to play around with. I hope cooks will be able to make decorative food like in Final Fantasy where it can be placed on a table and click to eat. I would love for something like that. Like, give me like a shitty food buff. That'd be pretty sick. They can create an internal market for peer-to-peer designs, like an internal Etsy store for folks who want to take the time. I don't know if I would be fond of that though. Like having something like on the auction house or something like that where you buy layouts. That seems cool because like we see some stuff like that. I have a feeling that the players will solve that. Will create a solution for that on their own. I know that sounds really lazy, but I'd like to see what players think up to. Dies for mod would also semi-kill their current trading post market. It'd be a big shift, but I think it's going to come at some point. They just need to get around to it. What sucks is that the longer it takes, the heavier The longer it takes, the later it comes. The later it comes, the less satisfying it might feel. So, because they have to think about the past 20 some years of WoW as well. But I think it might be like at some point they'll just flip a big switch and be like, okay, going forward, this is how some of our armor is going to be like. It might not even be everything. It might just be certain armor that they allow to have a die system on. So, I mean, that probably wouldn't feel satisfactory for players, but if that's the way, if that's how they would reasonably be able to implement it, where only certain things are dieable for a while until they like fully slide over, then cool. But also, I wonder what that would do to like the overall production of not just designing different tier sets, but actually like implementing everything. I'm sure at first it's going to start slow and they're going to have a hard time doing it before they can get into a groove and be able to start pumping out the way they usually pump out stuff. Because they do create a lot, because to their credit, they do pump out a lot of appearances quick over the course of like a season and what have you. You'll need a big shift in items, like if they start selling emotes or something. That I think is tough too, because I think in order to really make emotes work, they would need to expand on the team and really invest into that. And it's like, is it really appropriate? You know, how? I guess what would be that real opportunity cost, or what would be like the cost of hiring animators just for emotes? You can't have them just for that. They got to do other stuff too. So what else would you put out? More cutscenes, you know, of course that could be like a thing. So what's I don't know how all that works. So, but it's fun to talk about. I feel like quest gear could be used in starting place because they could be used by everyone of the same armor of the armor type. Their first mission, give cool cheering lady, is a fantastic dance. Just add one more thing to the. It would be like a to-do, and then at the top, pop, and then that's it. Done. Done. Win. Okay, so it's lunchtime, and my voice is more worn out than I thought it'd be, so I better rest it. Is there any news? Just double check it. Any last second thing? Nope. So I'm gonna head out and maybe try to get some stuff for the Legion remix stuff, just like some last minute footage, and maybe I'll throw together like an actual guide to how to make it all work. But I'll take my time putting it out. It'll come out whenever. So off I go. You guys have a great rest of your day. May your loots be merry, and I'll see y'all